it's too much.
So it was
too much for me the first time.
You miss Christopher. You missed when he came in, and I just kind of laid into him.
Oh God, you were so mean to him too. By the way, those who are just joining us, the TST after show, which I have no idea what the hell the topic was on TST because it wasn't that interesting. Sorry, JD. But anyways,
I don't even know what it was, honestly.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes ago to end, and we couldn't tell you what the recap was. That's just how boring it was to me, unfortunately.
I think it was mostly.
But anyways,
okay. It's okay.
We do got Skylar here. We do got CRISPR. We got Drag and Jackie and Saka. And we got Mr. New Intelligent Design.
Okay.
God
okay,
have
sorry.
I'm gonna let you guys run with this, but I gotta tell you, Edgar's like I don't know. It's like Limburger cheese, right? I mean, it's smelly and stinky in case you like to eat it, but you really don't want to like make a meal of it. Okay.
Okay. Could I pick this up where I left off?
All right, glad to see you made it, Edgar. Everything work out okay?
Okay, thank you.
Mike's
it's working.
Okay,
right,
it's
nice.
Fine. There you go.
Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help.
No worries.
No worries.
She's so nice, isn't she?
Could I pick this up where we left off?
Yes, you may.
Next time
Be my guest,
I promise
Fiona.
you. Yeah, you laughing now, motherfucker. I'll see you in New York.
Right, so anyway, here we were. I asked you, do you know the difference between evolution and the theory of evolution?
Yeah, the theory of evolution is a theory of science that state that a species A can change to species B through natural process.
No, that is not the theory of evolution. I'll tell you, I'll give you the definitions of both of them.
Okay, please give me your best definition.
Evolution is a change in allele frequencies within a population over time. The theory of evolution, now, oh, by the way, that evolution is a process, okay? The theory of evolution describes the mechanism by which the process of evolution comes about. And that theory states that it is natural selection acting upon genetic variation within the population.
That's wrong.
That's the difference. No, it's not. That's the definition, that's the scientific definitions of evolution and the theory of evolution.
Well, okay, let's assume that is the correct definition of the theory of evolution and the evolution itself. But you need to remember that the theory of evolution also exclude intelligence in its explanation, in its definition. Am I right?
That is because it is a scientific theory.
No,
any scientific theory looks at natural phenomena, and it looks for a natural explanation for the natural phenomena. To do so, they have to look at what they can measure, what they can observe.
Yeah, that is science. A science is observable, measurable, it's empirical. But in your definition of the theory of evolution, you had said population, right?
Yes.
You have never checked through the power of the explanation of the theory of evolution that a population is being used by an intelligent agent or not.
No, wait a minute. Population was used in the population was used in the definition of evolution, but now you're trying to apply it to the theory of evolution. Theory of evolution didn't say anything about population. Let me repeat them to you. Evolution states evolution is the change in allele frequencies within a population over time. The theory of evolution describes how that comes about. That is natural selection acting upon genetic variation.
That is why you don't get it. You are using the word population. Remember that you are using the word population.
I am using the word I'm using the word population when I talk about evolution, because evolution happens to populations, not individuals.
Yes. You need to remember that when you use population in the living organism, you are stepping inside into the doorsteps, inside the topic of intelligence. Because
No.
any intelligent agent, okay, can I complete? An intelligent agent to support life, to make life better, to secure the continuation of life. Any intelligent agent, and we say it every day, will going to use more amount of numbers. For example, population. So a population actually is a support mechanism.
How much intelligence does it take for a dead animal to not breed?
How much intelligence? Can I? One more, please. One more, please.
How much intelligence does it take for a dead animal to not breed?
It's dead. It's already dead. It's
How
dead,
much intelligence does it take for a dead animal to not breed?
Well, I don't know, because it depends on who is going to make that dead animals alive.
No. That's not the question I asked you. Nobody makes roadkill alive. How much intelligence does it take for roadkill to not breed?
Roadkill to not breed? I don't get. I don't get. Wait, one more, please.
How much intelligence does it take for a dead animal to not breed?
Well, I don't get the question, because you are saying to me.
Okay, I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you. Right. Evolution can be summed up as dead animals don't breed. Okay?
Agree.
Right. So how much intelligence does it take for a dead animal not to breed?
You don't need intelligence to make for dead animals, because it's already dead.
No,
so
I didn't ask you that. I asked, how much intelligence does it take for a dead animal to not breed?
First, when you say dead animals, it doesn't breed.
When you say dead animals, you mean dead? Is it not alive?
So it's not alive.
Can you tell us, Fiona, can you tell me what you mean by dead animal, Fiona? Can you give me a definition of dead, please?
Dead, not alive. Dead, completely dead.
That's just a redundancy.
It's an animal. It is pining for the fucking fjords.
Okay,
it has fallen from its perch.
It has ceased to be. This pellet is no more. It has ceased.
That's the point I'm saying, is dead animals do not breed.
Well,
they do not breed. It takes no intelligence for a dead animal to not breed. Because they just don't breed.
Yes, agree. It's obvious.
Right, that's natural selection.
No.
No intelligence required there. Dead animals don't breed.
You are mixing. Dead animals don't evolve.
No, they don't breed at all. Listen, let me tell you. Individuals don't evolve. Populations do. For a population to evolve, there has to be a breeding population. Natural selection works because dead animals don't breed.
That's the reason why you are wrong. The theory of evolution is wrong. Because
no, I'm telling you, dead animals do not breed.
Wait, dead animals do breed?
Seriously.
Oh my God.
See, that's what natural selection means. If an animal is unsuitable for the environment that it's in, it can't compete. So it will die. And once it's dead, it can't breed.
Right.
So its genes, therefore, do not get passed on to the next generation.
Right.
Because it has to breed to pass on its genes.
Right.
So if it's dead, it cannot pass them on. So if it has a faulty gene, a mutation that is damaging, it won't pass it on. That's how the natural selection works. Now, an animal that has a change that means it is able to breed and raise more offspring,
Agree.
it will pass its genes on. This
Agree.
is observed. We observe this happening. We measure it happening. We study it happening. It exists.
No.
Yes, we do. We
Great.
do.
What you observe, what we observe in the natural world, in the natural living biological world, is what we call interrelation. That all animals interact and change with time, with intelligence. And if you are going to use population in any explanation, you are stepping into the door, into the camp of an intelligence. Because remember, you cannot mix single to population. Because remember, a population is a support mechanism to life. The more number, the better.
Is this
the more number, the better. And that
Fiona, have you ever talked to Edgar before? Have you ever talked to Edgar before, Fiona?
I watched his performance.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Okay.
Like, you can keep saying it's wrong until you're blue in the face. Except we observe allele frequencies changing within populations over time.
Correct.
We see that happening. Do you know what
Correct.
an allele is?
But that is inside the population. Inside
Do
the
you
population.
Do you know what an allele is?
Yes. It's a change of a gene. Yeah, I knew that.
It's a type. Okay, it's a different version of. Okay, so if evolution is a change in allele frequencies within a population over time, and we can go out and we can sample those populations, and we can look at the frequencies of the different alleles, and we can see those frequencies changing, which is the very definition of evolution, changing allele frequency within a population over time. We observe that happening over time. Therefore, we've observed that.
You mix together. Fiona, look, let's go out to evolution and creation. Let's go to
no, don't go out.
No, wait. I will show you. I will show you why you are wrong. I will show you why you are wrong. Let's go out to.
You don't
understand.
I told you it's observed.
You don't understand
We
reality.
study it.
You don't understand reality. What you are saying, you are mixing flat Earth to round Earth. You are mixing everything.
No, I'm not. I'm being very clear. I am being very clear.
No, not clear. The theory of evolution is. Let me explain. Let me explain.
On you go. This I have to hear.
No, why don't you listen? Listen, you need me to show what is right and wrong. Listen, the theory of evolution mix everything. For example, you are using population in a living organism, but you also need to remember that the word population is being used for intelligence because in population is a support mechanism so that life could continue to exist in the earth. So any intelligent agent who would like life to continue to exist will surely make more number of any living organism so that if an intelligent agent is going to make more population, the living organism will die. So when you use population in the theory of evolution, you are mixing reality. It's probably science, but it is not reality.
Okay, what you've just said is the biggest load of gibberish I've ever heard. Utter gibberish. I have told you how science defines evolution. If you want to go with a different definition of evolution, you be my guest. But don't expect science to follow your unique definition of evolution. Now, I've told you, we can go out, we can sample those populations, we can measure the frequency of each allele, We can go back and resample them and remeasure the frequency of the alleles, and we see a change in those alleles. It is observed happening. We observe the change in allele frequencies within a population. Okay? That is observed. Thus, evolution is observed.
No, because
yes.
you are making a wrong definition. Anybody can define.
No, I'm
in
using
science. Anybody can define.
I'm using the scientific definition.
Of course, it doesn't mean that all science. I can define any word, but you need to remember that
I am using the scientific definition the way the scientists use it when they talk about evolution, when they talk about the evidence they have for evolution. And if you want to use your own unique definition of evolution, then you're going to get nowhere in attempting to say that evolution is false.
No, what I said is that anybody can define a word or a terminology in science, but this definition must always be conformed to reality. When you define the theory of evolution and you are using the word population, you are mixing together.
No,
because evolution said the theory of evolution dismiss the topic of intelligence. So when you dismiss the topic of intelligence, you will also exclude the topic of population, because you are excluding. You cannot mix reality. You are mixing flat Earth to round Earth. It's the same. That's the reason why when I ask you, is population intelligent or not, you cannot answer. My question is, do you think that a population or a system that has more number is designed or not? Can you answer that?
No, listen, I'm going to go back to something you said. I said to you,
don't mix. No, okay.
I want this is from what you've just said. You said it was excluding intelligence. Now, I explained to you that the theory of evolution states that the mechanism for evolution is natural selection acting upon genetic variation.
Okay.
Nowhere in that did I include or exclude intelligence.
But you used the word population.
That was to do with evolution. Now we're talking about the theory of evolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
You keep mixing the two of them up.
Okay.
So, if the theory of evolution states that evolution comes about by natural selection acting upon genetic variation in the population, where do I exclude intelligence in that definition?
First, when you use the word population, are you thinking about intelligence or not?
Not in the theory of evolution.
Because you see, in reality, when you use population, you are using intelligence. You are not using natural process. Because population, as I have said, is a support mechanism to life, so that life can continue.
Sorry, you're just repeating exactly the same thing as you've just said, and it's utter nonsense. It's gibberish.
No, because you science is
gibberish.
We must be very specific in science. For example, if you would like,
you think you're in science?
Oh yes, I do science. We must be specific in science.
Hey, Fiona, can I give you a little background on Mr. Intelligent Design? Because he claims to have a civil engineering degree, yet says he's never taken a course in physics, doesn't know basic mathematics, doesn't know basic biology, doesn't know basic cosmology, doesn't even understand things as simple as like Young's modulus or how to take a derivative of x squared, and he's a civil engineer.
Right.
Didn't know Hooke's law. But
how is his biology? That's what I want to know. How is his biology?
He's never taken a biology course.
Real fucking shabby.
Right. So, if I'm not getting this, why As soon as you say population, it means intelligence. I'm not getting that at all.
You got to hear definition for intelligence, Fiona.
Well, yeah, this is the best part.
Okay.
This is the best part.
I'm so.
I think
you know. It seems that I've wasted years of my life. I could have. I've wasted years of my life learning about biology.
Really, Fiona, if you wanna have any chance of understanding this, what you're gonna need to do is think back to the peppered moths, right?
Right.
That's what you're gonna need to do.
Right.
You're gonna have to find another bottle and then.
Yeah, the moths. Yeah, I'm with you now. I remember that one vaguely.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, the moths. They still bring that up, the moths. You see, here's what I don't think you're getting, Edgar. Some of us do actually have a little bit of education in biology. We have spent time to find out about these topics. And we've spent time finding out what the scientists are actually talking about, what they mean when they use certain words. And some of us have gone on to actually use those certain words in that context. And so we know what we mean when we use the word. And for somebody to then come along and tell me that I don't know what I mean when I use that word, when I've been very specific about it, it's a bit odd, to say the least. Now, I'm not trying to throw qualifications or anything like that at you. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that you cannot just make up your own definition and then say, but that's what science says, when science doesn't say that at all.
That is my point, Fiona. Can I speak? That's my point. You cannot simply get all the words that belong to a theory. For example, for a flat earth idea cannot get any evidence from around earth. It's totally wrong. Newtonian physics cannot get Einsteinian physics cannot get any evidence from Newtonian physics. They're wrong. So you must be specific. You must specify. That is why intelligence is very important in the science, because intelligence can specify, can classify, can categorize, can differentiate.
I was very definitions.
When I told you, can you please one more?
I said I was very specific with the definitions.
No. Because you are using population. You don't know if population is being used by intelligence or not. You have no test. So when you use the word population in science, you must also think, is this the work of an intelligent agent or a natural agent?
Yeah. Here's your problem. Here's your problem. No, here's a really big problem you have here.
There's a problem.
Not once have I denied any intelligence or even denied intelligent design. All I have done is to ask you if you knew the difference between evolution and the theory of evolution. You have jumped to a conclusion that I am denying it. Now, the only reason I brought that up was because you said evolution was wrong. But it turned out that you don't even understand what evolution is, what the theory of evolution is, and the difference between the two. But on the basis of not knowing any of that, you've announced that to be wrong. I've said nothing about the presence or absence of intelligence. Nothing. I said nothing about that. Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
All you're doing is trying to take the word population and use it to mean intelligence. Now, I use the word population to mean population. You can take the word population and try and say that population means intelligence. You can say that until the cows come home. But when I use
just,
population, I mean a population.
yes, a population is a population, but a population is a system. A system that is being used in biological organism, living organism. A population is a system. So the theory of evolution doesn't know if a population is a process used by intelligent agent or by natural agent. They just
and the theory of gravity doesn't know which way is down. The theory of evolution isn't supposed to know anything. The theory of evolution isn't expected to know anything. It's a concept.
That's a wrong concept, right?
So concepts don't know things.
That's what I'm trying to say, that you are using theory of evolution as a wrong concept. You are...
Oh, good grief.
Your mom's a wrong
concept. Have you bashed your head enough? Are you kind of... I don't want Fiona hurting herself, because Fiona will actually literally hit her head on the desk. And when blood starts running down her head, it kind of makes me feel bad, although I think it's funny. But she gets hurt. Okay, so I don't want her to get hurt, Edgar.
I'm sitting here trying to follow it myself. So
have I been unclear here? I mean,
no,
it's not you. It's not you.
He doesn't understand simple concepts.
Okay, hey Edgar, listen. How are you doing? My name is Hannah. Let me ask you a few questions. Drag.
Hi, Hannah.
You shut your whore mouth, Drag.
Yes, Hannah.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I have a series of questions for you, and feel free to answer them as detailed or as vague as you want them to. Where are you located right now? Is this like an office? Is this your apartment? Is it like where are you right now?
In my house.
You're in your house. Okay.
Yeah, apartment.
So okay. So when you were mentioning you have an assistant in one of the earlier hangouts you had with Steve, is that somebody you hired? Is that like your wife or a family member, or who is the one that's supporting you through all this?
Family member.
Family member. Okay. So do you live with them or do you live by yourself?
I live with them.
Okay.
I live with them.
Do they know that this is what you do?
Yes.
And how do they react to it? Are they supportive?
Yeah.
Give me some details.
First, when I told them that I discovered intelligence and I can change the whole world, they were surprised and they said to me, "Hey, maybe you are crazy. Maybe you are crazy." But I discovered intelligence, and I've written 6 science books about that. And I can show it, and I can defend it, and I can tell it, and I can defend it. I can show. I can make experiment.
No. I'm sure you believe that, but I'm asking, how does your family handle it? So they're supportive, or are they just telling you that this is just your thing and they leave you to it? They don't bug you with it.
First, my son was very go against me. Now he is trying to understand his father's discovery, because I tell him that whenever you use the word intelligence, you are, because he is now in university. If he will be encountering the term intelligence, he will be taught in the wrong intelligence. I am the only one in the world who knows intelligence, because I have nailed it. So then my son told me, "Okay, can you give me your book?" So I give him my first book, and I think in his spare time he will be studying it.
Holy shit! I just got it. He's fucking Rob Beasley. This guy is Rob Beasley. Like it's not spirituality. It's fucking intelligent design. This guy is fucking Rob Beasley. Like, Hannah, those questions just clarified it. That is fucking, oh my good, dude. Listen, get out of this, man. Get out of this. Just abandon ship now before you're fucking locked up in a mental asylum like Rob Beasley.
Okay, we'll fill you in on Rob Beasley later. But Hannah, did you
I'll keep going. So is your son saying that he's university educated?
He's now studying.
He's studying now.
One of the best university in my province.
What province do you live in? You don't have to
Gunma.
say it if you don't want
Gunma
to.
province.
In which one?
I can say Gunma province in Japan. I am in Japan right now.
Oh no, I know you're in Japan. I'm only familiar with the Kyoto area, so that's why I'm everything a little bit outside of it. I'm kind of a little bit weird about it.
He was actually trying to go to Tokyo University, and I go with him.
That's very competitive.
But I told him, I told him, study and learning is never stop. You can study after you graduated like me. So I studied and I discovered the real intelligence. Now we're here.
That's true. You don't stop learning after you graduate. That's very true.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So what major, what degree is he seeking?
Yeah, I studied the Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, but I never use it here in Japan right now, so I forgot all of them.
Okay, I'm asking, what is your son seeking?
Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering.
He's seeking the same. He's seeking the same.
Who?
Your son.
My son?
Yes.
Oh, my son is studying chemical and biological, something like that. It's in Japanese department. Okay. Chemical biological.
Okay, so he has familiarity with biology and I would assume some sort of engineering you meant to say, like some sort of biological engineering? I'm going by the assumption.
Chemical and biological.
Okay, so when you presented your books to him, did he come back to you and ask you questions about them? Did he tell you you're full of shit, or like what did he say to you?
He told me, he asked me 3 times until now. Because he knew that whenever I say yes, whenever I say to him, I never lie to my son. You know, he's my son.
Right.
So if I say to him that this is intelligence, I cannot tell him wrong. I have the responsibility as a father. So I am doing this thing not because of you, but because of my family. First, my family first should be. First, I have to understand what I have seen, what I have discovered. That is scientific. It's very hard, so I have to share to others.
So
but my son, now.
Right. I mean, he's your son, so I would assume he would be comfortable enough to talk to you and let you know if something's not making sense or there's a problem with your theory, right, or with your hypothesis, right?
Yeah. Actually, I have a challenge. My challenge is in the book. In the same challenge I use to my son, to other people. You can only call me that I'm insane, stupid, or moron, or lazy, or crazy, if you could tell me what is the real intelligence. Because
I doubt anything I can tell you or anybody else can tell you will convince you otherwise. I honestly doubt that, which is why I'm not even interested in having that kind of discussion with you. Because if you've already written 6 books on it, and I'm so confident in your son that I'm sure he's brought it up to you at some point in time that something doesn't click or make sense. That's why I'm asking you. Has he brought to your attention that there's something wrong with the way you're approaching your experiment? Like the egg and the tissue experiment, for example.
Well, he was the one who helped me in my experiment like 5 years ago. So
but five years ago he was a kid. 5 years ago he was a kid, so that doesn't really.
Yeah, he was a kid. So but now since he's studying in university, so he had no time reading my science books. But I give to him my first science book.
Science, and I don't know if I can call them books. I think that's just abuse of the word book. But what does he think when he reads your material?
I don't think he's read it. I think that's what he said.
Oh.
The first reaction to me is, he said to me, if I am right. He said to me, very in Japanese we call it sugoi, meaning your meaning
sugoi?
Yeah. Means means you're great. Because I told him that maybe because if you are going to use intelligence, you will surely see that. You will going to change the whole world. And you will see everything. They're different. So he said to me, yeah, sugoi. But of course he is a doubt. He doesn't. So I don't care. I will tell him in the right time.
Okay. I mean, he's your kid, and I would assume that you two have a strong enough relationship that if something came up like that, I would hope that he would approach you as well as you would approach him. But if he is seeking the degree in biological, chemical engineering, whatever it is,
yes,
I think you'll realize what your problems are. I think maybe when a family member explains it to you why there are several issues with your novels, with your books, maybe then it'll become apparent to you. But for now, since your son is seeking that degree, I would leave him to his studies.
Yeah, but I always check I always check every day about my new discovery, you know, because I have the responsibility to make it right.
But you're not checking anything. You're not.
No, I
because
check.
You can't. No. I'm sure you look at your notes. I'm sure you look at your notes and you fiddle around with them and you try to make it more coherent. I'm sure you do that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, you're explaining to us that one of your tests, one of your experiments for intelligent design, is dropping an egg on tissue paper.
Right. I agree.
Okay. So just I'm gonna say that one more time just so that it kind of sinks in. Your experiment for intelligence is dropping a raw egg. I assume it's a raw egg. Is it raw, boiled? What is it?
Raw egg, 68 gram.
68 gram raw egg.
Yes.
Okay. You're dropping a raw egg on tissue paper, seeing if it's going to break through, and just adding more pieces of tissue paper until it could withstand the weight of the egg. Okay.
Yes.
I am so sure everybody here has explained to you that makes absolutely no fucking sense in trying to discover intelligence. I'm sure that's been said to you multiple times, but I'm not going to attempt to argue with you on that. I just think when you tell your son that, he will wonder what the fuck you're thinking.
The reason why you are saying to me that that's wrong, because you don't know what is intelligence. You see, you have no clue.
Right, because your definition of intelligence is incoherent. And not only that, your test for intelligence is testing the tissue paper. You're not testing intelligence. It is not intelligent for gravity to do its thing and put an egg through tissue paper. It's not intelligent. It's intelligent for you to design an experiment. You can definitely say that. You designed an experiment. You're an intelligent agent and you decided to experiment. I get it. That's intelligence in and of itself. The egg falling through tissue paper isn't. Okay? And I'm so sure there's better things you can do than do that and waste your time with that.
And can I real quickly?
Okay, please.
I mean, the reason people write reviews is to give feedback to the authors. All right? Okay. I mean, a typical review of your and again, I hate to use this word, term books, but whatever.
No problem. Okay.
I mean, what do you hear when you read these reviews? This one, quote, "Do not purchase this book under any circumstances. There is nothing of any worth to be found within." Pastrana talks about his amazing discovery of real intelligence, which consists of listing far too many different definitions of intelligence, narcissistically praising himself, and complaining about the large number of actual scientists who reject his utterly vacuous and nonsensical claims, which is the same thing that literally every one of us in these Hangouts has told you. Do you think it's some vast conspiracy against you, or do you want to take a step back and think to yourself, maybe these people that do know what the hell they're talking about, like Fiona, who, can I just tell them your background, Fiona?
Yeah, if you want.
That is a PhD in molecular biology, right? Telling you that you're fundamentally flawed, and if you were in her class and you were taking her courses from her, you would fail out the first day. Okay, you don't have the prerequisite knowledge to even take an upper level course, or even I would say a remedial course. I don't think you have the skill set. These are reviews of your book. These are what educated people are telling you. You don't know the topic. Do you think it's wise and prudent for yourself to take a step back and go, you know what? Maybe I need to take a self-assessment. Maybe these people are telling me something and I need to listen to them. Because we're not doing it out of spite. You're a nice guy. I do enjoy engaging with you to some degree. You are a nice guy. But I say this with all the love, you're dumber than a turnip.
As I have said in my book, that you can freely comment. It's no problem to me. Because, if you're a scientist, if you would like to comment to a person who said a discovery, you are going to make also an experiment. So I don't care of the people who say that I'm wrong without an experiment. I don't care.
But you should care.
Okay, hold on.
You should take.
Wait, Steve. I think I got this. Hold on. So you're asking someone to give a counter explanation to your experiment, right?
Yes, I have a discovery. How can you tell me I'm
actually? Is that what you're asking for?
What I'm asking is when I said that the theory of evolution is wrong.
No, it's not.
I never.
You're just asserting. Okay, you're asserting that. You're asserting that.
Yes, wait. When I said evolution is wrong, I am saying that not to insult the supporters of the theory of evolution, but I am saying that because I have an experiment to show that they are wrong.
No, you don't.
You see,
Okay.
I have it. So when you
don't know what the theory of evolution is, you weren't able to explain.
When you said to me, when you said to me that I am wrong in my intelligence, in my knowledge, in my discovery intelligence, without an experiment, how can you know that I'm wrong if you know what is right?
Oh, fuck
if you don't know what is right, how can you know what is wrong?
Because that's a good point. You don't know what is right. You don't know what the actual evolution theory is. You don't know anything about evolution. You have this weird version that's in your head that's taught nowhere.
Hold on, Steve. He's saying I wanted to get in here. Well, actually, Christopher did too.
Oh no, Drag! I don't think I'm ever gonna let you talk, motherfucker.
Well, it was my idea to let him in.
No. This is your fault.
Hold on. This is not fair.
This is very fair. Very fair.
You guys don't want to talk to him, but
we don't forgive. We don't forget, bitch.
So,
oh my god.
I just want to roll with what Edgar's saying for a little bit.
Fine.
Okay. You say that evolution, and even though you're kind of conflating the theory and the actual, phenomenon, you kind of conflate them back and forth. So whichever one you're talking about, what is wrong about it? Please name something very, very specific that is wrong.
I said to you, first, the theory of evolution is using the word population.
Okay.
The word population.
What is it?
The word population is a system.
What is a population?
A population is a more
population is a group of organisms.
Yeah, group of organisms.
Okay, so Edgar, is there such a thing as a group of organisms?
Yes, there is.
Can we call that a population?
Yes.
Then where's the problem?
The problem is you are using population in the theory of evolution, but you don't understand if population is being used by an intelligent agent or not.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Why would it make a?
It doesn't matter.
It matters because it will change the explanation of the biological world.
Okay, can I interject? Can I interject 1 second?
Okay.
Let's. I want to use an actual example, and I want you to explain to me how an intelligence would play a role in it. Okay. So we have a population of mice, rock pocket mice. All right. These rock pocket mice live in Arizona, and there's two different types of them. There are the black rock pocket mice, and there are the tan rock pocket mice. The ones that are black have a mutation in their MC1R gene. That's a different allele of that gene that makes their fur black.
Okay.
How does intelligence play a role in that mutation?
First, intelligence, I will define, okay? When I use intelligent design, I will just simply call that relationship, that phenomenon, an interrelation. All living organisms are interrelating and not evolving. Do you understand me?
No, that doesn't explain to me.
Say anything.
Yeah,
so,
I'm trying to figure out how does that play a role in the mutation of that particular allele, or excuse me, of that particular gene.
Yeah, according to intelligent design, as I've written in my science book, my biology, that mutation is part of reality, but it is always controlled by intelligence.
Okay, so
prove it.
Controlled.
Is there some intelligence that's changing genes and making additional alleles?
No.
Wait, actually, no.
Intelligent is controlling life.
What's your null hypothesis here?
You are so annoying.
So So when you do this, right, you've got to say, okay, I have a null hypothesis. We're talking about these mutations. You see this mutation causes black fur. Okay, so we have a null hypothesis, and that null hypothesis is what? What is your null hypothesis for this?
The question is why there is a mutation? They just changed, right? So,
No, my question is, what is your null hypothesis? Before you can do a test, before you can test for something, right, you have to have a null hypothesis, because that defines how you're testing.
Edgar, remember I said
what are we testing?
Edgar, remember I
Okay.
said state the question in the form of the answer when you answer somebody. He asked you, what is your null hypothesis? To say, my null hypothesis is, and then give us what your null hypothesis is.
I don't get his question.
Know what a null
Because
hypothesis
what he's trying,
No,
No.
of course not.
what he's trying to say in that phenomenon, he's trying to prove evolution or interrelation.
Do you know what a null hypothesis is?
I'm not
Edgar?
trying to prove anything. You're trying to prove something.
No. What? You must be specific.
He's
Please,
Edgar,
Edgar,
seriously,
you
he's
know what
being
a null
as literal as possible. He's asking you for a null hypothesis. If you don't know what it is, it's
For
okay
what?
for you to ask.
Yeah, for what hypothesis?
Okay, when you do an experiment, Edgar, you have your hypothesis, your claim that you're trying to falsify. You actually try to find evidence to falsify your claim. You do that by
Okay,
formulating
okay.
what's called a null hypothesis.
Okay.
Okay, so if I
Yeah.
say I think that A did this, my null would be A did not do this, and you try to be able to reject that null hypothesis. Okay,
Okay. I know
and
that.
then you have a very rigid statistical way you go about doing this to be able to say
Okay.
I have enough evidence that I've tried to falsify my hypothesis. I can't. I can reject the null, and you can actually say that for the most part your hypothesis is correct, or at least seems to be, until somebody comes along and
Yes.
wrecks it.
I'll tell you what it kind of sounds like you're doing, and I've seen a lot of people do this, have this problem, is that you're starting from, I think that A did this, and my null hypothesis is that A did this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you work that way, you can never get anywhere, right? You can never get anywhere.
No. That's
So
okay.
you know-
They're asking the live feed.
your null
Edgar,
hypothesis.
They're asking the live feed. Can you repeat back what I said to you about a null hypothesis? Because I explained it to you very simply. I mean, believe me, CRISPR can get into all kinds of things about type 1 errors and type 2 errors and all the statistical modeling and significant alpha and p-values. They get very complicated really quickly. But basically, could you just tell me what I said to you? If I said, I want to demonstrate that A is correct, what's my null hypothesis?
What is your null hypothesis? Being
Yeah,
A
I
is
want to
correct?
say A did this.
So
The
you are
reason
going
for
to you are
this
going to
is A. What's my null?
I don't get it. I don't, okay.
The reason for this
I-
is not A. In other words,
Fuck me.
basically you're just. Oh my God. And the null hypothesis is the opposite of what you're trying to suggest. Basically.
So the
I don't know
notion,
how else
the
to
notion
simplest
that you
make
want to
it.
talk about, the notion that you want to talk about yourself as a scientist, that you've developed a new science, when you don't understand the concept of a null hypothesis, is just it's just laughable. Okay, you
It's my fault.
cannot, if you don't understand this is the basics of science. Okay, no, something like hypothesis testing is you can't do experimental design without understanding hypothesis testing. Right?
Yes, of
You can't
course.
do science without understanding experimental
Yeah,
design.
Of course, yes. Yeah. Of
Well, you
course.
claimed you did an experiment, but your experiment was highly flawed because you don't know how to do a proper experiment. If you do an experiment without a null hypothesis, controls, there's a whole shitload that goes into doing an actual proper experiment, and you did none of it.
No, I did it. Maybe my terminology.
What's your null
Maybe my
hypothesis? What's the null
no,
hypothesis
maybe my
for your experiment?
maybe my terminology in my wording are different from you.
No, okay.
Okay.
If
So
you're going to
maybe
do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hold on. If you're going to do
You are
that,
using that.
hold on. If you're going to do that, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Wait, Edgar, fuck. Okay, listen. If you're gonna have
okay.
different terminology for different things, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But you need to define them and you
Okay.
need to explain them, right? I understand maybe you don't
Yes.
remember how to do the scientific method as a T. Okay, I get it. You're not classically trained. That's
Okay.
fine. That's again, I am not a stickler for people who are not formally educated. I don't give a fuck. I seriously don't. But the thing is, with a degree,
Okay.
this is what I always tell people. When you have a degree, the degree speaks for you, right? It tells you that you've done the work to prove that you know what you're talking about, right? When you don't have a
Okay.
degree, you have to put way more effort in to show everyone that you know what you're talking about. So when we ask you something and then explain what a null hypothesis is, right? I'm sure you can tell by the word null and the word hypothesis what we're asking of you. Do you not know what a null? Do you not understand what a null hypothesis is? I'm going to continue, but just say yes or no.
Okay, continue.
No. Just
Continue, please.
I can't continue unless you answer yes or no. I need to know what the answer is. Do you know what a null hypothesis
know.
is? You don't know.
I-
That's
I-
fine. That's fine. No worries. But what did you think would falsify your experiment?
Oh, that's what I see. Okay.
Okay, what would falsify your experiment?
First, the question is, what experiment are you thinking about? I have many experiments in my science book.
Okay, let's.
Experiment for
I'm gonna pull one
intelligence
literally
or
out
for
of my ass.
biology?
And go with the egg one. I'm gonna pull one out of my ass and say the egg one.
Okay, the egg one. So
Yeah, what's a false?
my experiment in the egg one is that remember that I am testing a concept or a principle, a method. So like that, my to falsify non-intelligence here is that what I in my test of the experiment in my experiment about the egg in tissue, I am trying to discover a concept that is called intelligence. If intelligence is problem or solution, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to.
I know, but that's not what I asked you. Okay, that's not what I asked you. I asked you. You're putting down a single sheet of tissue paper just at the start, right? It's a single piece of tissue paper. You're dropping an egg through, right? Hopefully, you didn't let the egg drop through all the way to the floor. You had a bucket or something to catch like it, because you would have a mess on the floor. But regardless, that's what you're doing.
Okay.
Thank God. Thank God. God bless.
Okay.
Amen. Amen. So if you're doing that, right? Eventually, when you build up tissue papers, enough tissue papers, the egg won't fall through, right?
Right.
Okay, that's going to happen regardless, right? Whether you do it, whether I do it, whether Steve does it, whether a cow does it, doesn't fucking matter. When you build up enough tissue papers, the egg, right. Okay, great. Now, you have to then explain to me how that would falsify your concept that you're testing for. Because you're saying an intelligent wouldn't fail, right? That's what you said in Steve's first hangout when he dealt with you. That the failing, the egg going through the tissue paper proves there is no intelligence. And the egg not going through the tissue paper proves there is intelligence, right?
Okay, I said that.
Right, you said that, right? Okay.
So to falsify, you know, I'm going to clarify my experiment part, okay? I will answer you. So the experiment is tested for our concept again, for intelligence. We were taught in our school, in everyday life, that to solve a problem, you know the solution. If you solve a problem with a solution, we call that intelligence. Especially when the problem is difficult and the solution is very hard. If you solve the problem, we call it intelligence. I test that concept of intelligence in my explanation.
How is this falsify intelligence? By the way, we have 60 people almost watching this nonsense, and Antonio only had 30. So are you guys trying to tell me that Edgar here is more popular than the shit?
Yeah, because I'm going to change the world.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck are you people watching this for? Fucking crap, people.
Edgar.
I am so sorry to my audience for having this on my channel. Please don't watch this.
Okay, Edgar.
Yeah.
You're testing a concept. I'm gonna calm down a little bit.
Calm down, okay.
You are no, I'm just it's infuriating.
I want to say hi to CJ.
When someone is not understanding how wrong they are. I get it. You know, sometimes it happens. You know, when you get older, shit just goes through the roof. I get it. That's fine. But in this case, you are deluding yourself into thinking that this is a thing. And I'm trying to break you of that notion so that when you do discover
No,
something,
please.
which I'm sure if you honestly am interested, if you honestly are interested in being a scientist, right, and making a discovery
Yeah,
and contributing to the field, then go do what you're doing, but you need to do this properly. And you need to at least stick and listen to the criticism of other people to improve.
No problem.
Your bullshit is so caked that it's going to take forever for me to and other people to break you of this delusion unless someone does it for you. And I am begging you to do it, because there is no fucking way an egg through tissue paper measures intelligence, because you are creating the problem that is already solved naturalistically without an intelligence being involved. That you're not testing, you're not proving an intelligence by dropping an egg through tissue paper. I can test the concept of a ghost being in my house, set up microphones all around my room, and if I hear farting in the middle of the night, I have evidence that there is a ghost plaguing me. It is not. It's a naturalistic explanation. Somebody's sleeping in my house and someone farted.
But intelligence are different.
Anyways, hey, real quick, hey, CJ Buddy, my friend, welcome back to my Hangouts.
Yes, I've had a hiatus.
CJ is a theist, by the way, and I think he thinks you're an idiot, Edgar. But whatever.
Hi, CJ. Nice to see you.
Although I'm a Christian, I have no idea what or where this conversation is going at all, and I don't know how it even started, although I haven't seen the video, so I'm not sure, but I'm just trying to get my head around it.
Okay, you see the individual named Dragnot there who's screen sharing some bullshit reviews? Okay, you see that guy there?
Yeah, I see.
Tell him to eat a dick. Yeah, go fuck yourself, you motherfucker, you. Seriously, you did this to me. I'm done with you. You're not gonna. I'm not paying for fried chicken when you get here. I swear to God, you're paying for your own.
How you doing, Dragonaut? Man,
can I get some clarification here? Okay, so I've been listening kind of on and off for the past half an hour, I don't know. Is your conclusion, what you're trying to say is that intelligence can only come from living things, like living things are the only things that can solve problems, or I don't get what the conclusion.
Okay, let's explain. Before I discovered intelligence, we were taught in schools, in our society, that to solve a problem, to make people call you intelligent, you are going to solve a problem with a solution. That is what we normally call ourselves, especially in school. When you solve a problem, for example, the problem is 100 and you solve it with 100. People call you intelligence. I call it symmetry. But no, according to my experiment, this is called natural process, natural phenomena. Because when you have a problem, the normal way for you to do that is to solve the problem.
Right.
So meaning problem and solution. Solving a problem is not intelligence, no matter how hard the problem it is. It is always a natural process.
Is my mic working?
How the hell? A demonstration of intelligence.
Thanks.
You just went from. I'm sorry. You cannot jump from the fact that you can do something, or that other people can do things, or that even some animal can do something with intelligence, to then saying that intelligence is doing other things. You have to have evidence that intelligence is doing those other things too. Okay, you have to separate.
I have a question from the audience. Edgar, somebody wants to know, as a person who does science, which you're not, but if you have a hypothesis that you're doing an experiment for it, as a scientist, are you trying to prove your hypothesis or disprove your hypothesis? And I use the term prove loosely. I should say, are you trying to support your claim, find evidence to support your claim, or try to find evidence that disconfirms your hypothesis or falsifies it? What are you actually looking for when you're doing an experiment? What are you looking for evidence? What type of evidence? Evidence that supports your idea or doesn't support your idea?
Both. For me, both.
No, you're a scientist. You're trying to find evidence that that actually falsifies your hypothesis. That's what you're looking for, right? You want to be confident enough to say, "Hey, look, I've done all this shit to try to disprove it, and it still works," right? because you don't want some other scientists coming along later going, hey, I falsified your stuff because I found this and it doesn't work for this. You don't want that, right? You want, and people do that. Scientists love to do that. They really want to falsify other people's stuff. But as a scientist, if you're looking for evidence that confirms your hypothesis, that tends to confirmation bias, right? So you seem to be stuck in this mode of confirmation bias where you're not looking at all this evidence that people are giving you that totally tells you that what you've been doing is completely bullshit.
Well,
okay. We're not trying to be assholes to you. I understand I'm a little bit aggressive right now. It's not because of you specifically. I had a bad phone call earlier a few minutes ago, which is why I had to leave the first time around. But I'm honestly trying to help you, and I want you to understand that. If you have this thirst to contribute to this field, we need more people who contribute good science, right? Good experiments, good hypothesis, good research, whatever it takes to further human knowledge, right? If you want to argue for intelligent design because you find that there is some reason to believe in it or there is some evidence to support it, that's fine. But then you have to come up with a reasonable hypothesis and a reasonable experiment that shows this, that follows the guidelines outlined in the scientific method, or at least what's commonly used in the scientific method. Meaning, how do I falsify this? Where is your data? How is your experiment actually dealing with what we're trying to discover? Right? It needs to be peer reviewed. Okay. It needs to be things that ordinarily contribute to the scientific body, you need to do. Because the more people can help you, educate you, the faster you'll become the person you think you are right now. But I'm telling you right now, you're not. And I want you to become better.
Thank you. But before I came here, before I show myself to the public, I've written already 6 science books. Okay,
it's self-published. I don't give a single shit about self-published stuff. I could write a fan fiction about Dragnot and Steve McRae right now, and I can get it published on Amazon. I honestly can. Don't look at my face. I don't want to see your face.
And Hannah, you could get it published. You could get it published as a science book too.
And I could actually, and nobody will check it. I don't have to worry about it. Checking it.
You cannot publish any topic.
Yes, I can. Would you like me to show? I will publish a 14-page book on Amazon in by next week. You want me to do that?
What we would then have
about intelligence. About intelligence.
Yes. It doesn't have to be. I'm just proving to you that I can self-publish right now if I wanted to. Amazon makes it that fucking easy.
She could.
Anybody could write on a Kindle. Anybody could do this. You self-publish the whole thing. The point is, how many copies of your books have you sold or downloaded? Do you know? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, it would give you analytics. It would give you analytics.
If you go to your analytics, is it even in the double digits?
Maybe no. Maybe not. Maybe double digits. Maybe 20.
So you wrote 6 supposed books, and less than 10 people have downloaded them.
Yeah. So what?
Wow.
No problem to me. No problem.
That's a huge impact in the scientific community, isn't it?
Well, hold on for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm not too concerned with like Amazon. If you're in Japan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Japan has a few journals, and I couldn't remember the name of one of them, but one of the journals is scientific journal. There's a few of them one of them gets published by the Japan Society for Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Agrochemistry. That's just one. Of all the reputable journals out there, have you submitted your supposed work to one of these reputable journals?
No,
why
not
not?
yet. No, it's very hard. My topic is intelligence. It's very hard for me to translate in Japanese.
You don't need to You don't need to translate it in Japanese. Okay. They have English journals there too. Somebody there is willing to help you out. I know this because my friend, but the closest friend I have who lives in Chicago, she went to high school and university in Japan. And I guarantee you, if you really wanted to get your stuff published in a journal over there, they would work with you, especially because English is the second language there.
But what I did is I submitted my manuscript to 6 science journal. The first is Nature, second is Science, third is I made a documentary for that. I just submitted for 6 science journal, and one comment told me that interesting and provocative. So I submitted for peer review. But the problem is that the peer reviewers didn't understand intelligence. How can you understand my intelligence if you don't know my intelligence?
So basically what you're saying, it's not my fault they didn't understand my experiment, it's their fault. Not that you didn't fight to be understood or be coherent, it's somebody else's fault, because these professionals and experts in the field, they must be wrong.
Yeah,
right?
Because somebody, they understood me. Somebody said to me, interesting and provocative.
Okay,
yes,
that's it? That's a review?
Yeah, they understood but they cannot accept that they will be defeated by me.
Well,
What
I can.
the-
Well, hold on for a second. Well, I
It's
can.
impossible.
I can go to an art museum or art exhibit and shit in the middle of the floor, and someone can call that interesting or provocative, and attach whatever they want to it. But that doesn't mean that whatever the goal or the intention behind me doing that act is actually going to be fully understood and fully accepted. No one's obligated to accept my notion just because I feel really strongly about it. What is going to be the meat and potatoes of you getting published is the methods or the discussion. It's going to be what you actually are able to demonstrate and others are able to replicate. Because when CRISPR earlier asked you about your null hypothesis, I had to walk away, but I'm going to assume that you don't have a null hypothesis for your whole ID shtick, whatever it is.
He doesn't have an understanding of what null hypothesis is.
Okay, and that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Because one of the first things that someone's going to look at when they're trying to determine whether what you're saying is actual science or whether it's bunk. And so from what you're saying, they consider it bunk because it just does not fit the criteria of science.
Well, what I've submitted to the peer reviewer is the topic of intelligence. I did not submit the topic of biology, because if I'm going to give the topic of biology or physics or psychology as written in my science book, they will never understand it.
Okay.
First, intelligence. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
intelligence.
get frustrated, so I'm gonna head out.
Just getting to the point.
Yeah, I'm gonna start actually being mean, so I'm gonna head out. Edgar, it was nice to talk to you, and I'm telling you right now, you need to work on this beyond belief. Like, I would recommend going back to university
It's not
right
salvageable. No, he can't work on this. This is not salvageable.
He has to go back to university at this point. If you, he's not going to listen to you that way. If you tell him to improve, then at least he'll take that as constructive criticism as opposed to throw the whole fucking thing out.
Yeah, but I'm telling him the truth, though.
And I'm telling him the truth too. He needs to go back to university. It's not, if he really wants to have a drag out dogfight with his idea of intelligence versus the scientific community at large that deals with a topic similar to his, then he should go to university and pit it against professors and see if he can survive that. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't even have to pay for university.
Hey, Edgar,
it's so easy to reach out to professors and do that.
Can you see what I just posted in the
I'm out,
inside
guys.
chat?
Good night.
Good night, Hannah.
Hey, can you see what I just posted on the inside chat?
MIT EDU courses in biology, and that's one of many. I have 250 list of courses you can take free online from Stanford, MIT, and many other places. Now, and I would love to take them. I'm a hypocrite. I haven't taken any of them because I don't have the dedication. But I do.
You didn't get it. Okay, you didn't get it. If I'm going to suit myself in this science, in this our science, I will never discover intelligence.
Okay, but here's what we do.
The good part that I'm here in Japan and I'm
Edgar,
alone.
let me tell you what we do get, okay? Because all you're doing is repeating yourself ad nauseum, saying the same thing.
The thing is,
but first of all, let me tell people about one thing. By the way, if you haven't noticed, people, I have cut my spanner list to about a quarter of what it was. If you lost your spanner, it's nothing personal. I just had way too many. I had to really limit it down. So I have a handful, literally a handful, people with spanners. So those are the people that I trust, and they have, they can do what they want. So if you lost a spanner, don't get upset. It's just I had way too many. People are complaining, and I think they're right. So I've limited my spanners to a handful of people. So if you still got one, you've demonstrated that you're competent in using a spanner and know when to use it and stuff like that. But anyways, here's the real crux of the matter, Edgar. If you do not know what the actual topics are, you cannot therefore falsify anything. If you do not understand what is taught as evolutionary biology or in any other science, you don't have the prerequisites to say whether it's true or not. You do not understand the terminology used, and if you want to redefine it, as Fiona said, you can do that, but you're not getting anywhere. You have to accept the fact that people in the know use certain terms and phrases in a very specific way. If you want to falsify somebody, you've got to work. You got to work within that paradigm, right? You've never taken a course of biology, so how would you even know the first thing about evolutionary biology?
First, what I have done first is to check intelligence. Okay.
Okay, Edgar, stop. I don't care. Edgar, stop. See what you keep doing. I'm gonna pull up Ronnie here. See what he just did. Why do you keep changing it back to your intelligence? I talk about A, you talk about Z. Okay. This is how we're gonna do this. When I ask,
I'm answering you. I'm answering you.
This is how we're gonna do this, Edgar, and I'm gonna be a dick about this. I ask you a question.
I'm answering you.
I ask you a question. You repeat the question back to me, and then answer the question that's being asked. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna play a game here. We're gonna do this formally here, so we can teach you how to have a proper dialogue. Look at, what color is the sky? Okay, that's my question to you. What color is the sky in the daylight, in daytime? No, what normally is the color of the sky? So you unmute. And using the format that I showed you, you answer that question back to me. Reformulating the question in the form of the answer. Go ahead, Edgar. Come on. I'm helping you out here, brother. You have to unmute, Edgar. Mr. GPT, who'd you bounce? And I'll have to go to their page and manually do it if you bounce somebody. So who was it you bounced? If you say Edgar, I don't care. He's just a waste of time. He won't come in here and he doesn't add anything to a conversation. No.
Mr. Intelligent Design, you're muted. You have to hit the little microphone button at the top of your screen.
Edgar, unmute, please. I don't know what's going on, but apparently you're not able to respond, or I don't know what. Just unmute.
Hey, Andres, by the way, welcome to a Hangout.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here. I wanted to use a really simple example that if you drop a ball, say from 10 meters in the air,
intelligence,
it's going to fall at a relatively solid speed, right? Within some deviation. But the idea being is that no matter where I do this, I'm in Florida. So if I do this in France, if I do this in Paris, if I do this wherever, it's probably going to stay the same within some level of confidence. It doesn't have anything to do with an intelligence.
Nope, it's just a model. It's just a model we can use for predict it using on kinematics.
Precisely. And in the same sense, too, if I change the height from 10 meters to 20 meters, I can also predict what that speed will be. It's not contingent upon there being an intelligence.
Right.
And I'm not sure what you would need to say there would be an intelligence, or that an intelligence would have to necessitate that.
Edgar, go ahead and unmute yourself. First, I have to see if we can figure out how to unmute himself.
So,
he's done this before.
I just got the answer to my question, which...
Hang on, CJ. Let's get him to unmute first. There we go. Okay. So before we go real quick, CJ.
Oh, good,
okay.
man.
So I want to ask my question first. What color normally is the sky?
In my place?
Go ahead, Edgar. And we're going to keep doing this till you get it right. Answer the question in the form of the question. In other words, rephrase the question in the form of the answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, the color of the sky is blue here in my place.
Yeah, see, dudes, he did this correct. He is actually able to learn something. Good. So from here on out, you see, that even take any practice. You got it right. So from here on out, when we ask you a question, that's how I want you to answer every one of them. Reformulate the question, in the form of the answer, and then give us your answer. Is that cool? We do this?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, CJ, what do you have to ask?
Give me time, please.
All right, that's fine. No problems, man. I want to help you, Edgar. I do want to help you. I think everybody here wants to help you. You're a charming guy. It's just you're so fundamentally flawed that it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's comical.
I haven't seen the whole broadcast. I haven't seen the whole video. I did ask Edgar, I was asking in general anyone to answer the question whether he was Christian or not. He's just confirmed that. And he said, so what? Well, I was like, well, I'm a Christian too, Edgar. And my foundation,
I'm a Christian.
My foundation, now hang on, listen. My foundation is Christianity to the core, the Bible. I believe the Bible to a T. I follow everything from the Bible. Anything that contradicts the Bible, I'm not interested in, because it's different to my belief. I believe in the Bible. So my foundation is the Bible. My question to you is, what is your foundation? You have so many different theories and ideas that you've been throwing around. It seems like you don't have a foundation in anything. If you are a true Christian, your foundation should be in Christ first. And then after that, your scientific experiments, etc., should be based upon keeping that foundation whole. If you lose that foundation, you are just dust in the wind. You're just blowing around like nothing. There's no foundation involved at all. As you can see, these other people in this chat, their foundation is in evolution biology and so forth, you know. So they can base what they're saying from that foundation. So you need to make sure you know and register what your foundation is before you can start debating people about something you don't really know for it. So I just really want to know where your foundation lies. Where's your foundation?
My foundation in life is the Bible. But my foundation in seeing nature in science is science. Okay. So science, you must use science also, not only the Bible. So the Bible is a book for life. To live, you need the Bible. But to see reality with science, you need science. And when you say science, you need intelligence.
So, in saying that, then, what if something you come across in science contradicts the Word of God? What do you do there? Do you just try and find a way around it? Do you try and put your faith aside to try and make sure that it is true, or you know, what's your stance on that? What do you do? Because you're bound to, in science, you're bound to come across things that contradict the Bible, or not contradict the Bible, but are gonna challenge your faith. Do you stick by your faith, or do you stick by science?
The new intelligent design predicts that the intelligent age it has physical and natural, physical and spiritual. So,
but this physical and spiritual are two totally different things. Things of the physical has nothing to do with the things of the spiritual. They're two totally different things. The physical is here and now. The spiritual is forever.
I'm not talking the Bible here in the science forum. If you are going to talk to me about
my main question,
if you want to talk to me about Christian living, if you want to talk to me about Christian living, fine. But you know, I discovered the real intelligence, so I talk about science. But of course, I said that. So you must use science too. If you use science, then people will believe you, because you.
But as long no, go ahead.
Because you know, I have told you that before I discovered the real intelligence, I'm a real Christian. But you know, I have to use science to see reality. So I use science.
CJ's a Christian, CJ, and you're a pretty level-headed Christian.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think about when you hear people using Christianity to defend such complete and utter bullshittery and nonsense, like flat Earth and young Earth creationism and all that crap? I mean, they are so adamant about it, and then they have the gall to try to promote it as science. And you, again, not being a very scientific person, you are someone who does listen to sides. You do take evidence. You will go and validate whether somebody's telling you the truth or not. You have a history and a track record of being very, very level-headed when it comes to that, right? I mean, you do have a quest for truth. I do believe that. So what is it when you hear somebody like Edgar, who claims to be a Christian, promoting such dumb fuckery? I mean, doesn't it hurt the whole Christian cause in a way?
It does, and it's embarrassing, to be honest, and I'm just blunt about it. And the thing is I don't know you, Edgar, so no offense to you personally. I'm just saying, I'm speaking in general terms here, but there is a lot of times Christians that embarrass the faith to a T, and it's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I mean. You need to have if you're a true Christian and disciple of Christ, you need to have a foundation of Christianity, and you should not waver from that whatsoever. I'm a young earth creationist, and I believe that God created the heavens and the earth and everything in it in 7 literal days. I am now confirmed that in my mind because I believe the Bible to the T. But I'm not going to go around and start contradicting that belief by now trying to manipulate it and twist it with science, which I feel that's what you're doing. And it's good to. I love studying science myself. You know, I don't know much about it, but I'm always open to.
Did you turn to young creationism? Because you used to be. You basically didn't. Well, you didn't care one way or another. You know, evolution happens. You have validated that. But do you think when you talk about the little creation of 7 days, you do recognize that the Earth appears to be much older, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I see. I've struggled with this for a while, and I was listening to the hangout I did on Charles many years ago, a couple of years ago. Remember that one that we did?
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually listening to that, and man,
yeah, that was awesome. Actually, that was a good hangout.
Yeah,
nobody here remembers that because that was a long fucking time.
It was 2015, I think it was.
Yeah, that was good. That was awesome.
But yeah, my headspace was all over the place. I was believing in some things, and it was contrary to the Bible. I was listening back to it, and I was thinking, I was so immature in the faith back then. You know, I believe that because I know that God is so powerful. There's no limit to God's power, that He can and will and does and has made the earth and everything in it in 7 literal days, because I believe in His power that He has, and that's what I'm fully I believe that in that now. But you know,
but CJ, listen to me. You know, the reason why many people laugh at creationism, laugh at Ken Ham, Ken Hoban, so many people.
Oh, you do know who they are. Somebody just asked if you how many books you have of these guys. I was like, I don't know if you even know who they are.
CJ, the reason why people laugh at creationism, at religion, because
they're
because we are talking about because we don't know how to categorize, process, and any X in the universe. For example, if one person asks you, how do you know if X was made by God or not? So all creation group cannot answer that question. Even
I'm
Michael
rather go down this line because I'm tired of the whole.
You see, you had to follow. Okay.
So I haven't talked to CJ for a while, so I'd rather move the conversation on to CJ. CJ, let's assume that God did create everything, right? Let's assume God is the creator, intelligent, designed everything. Okay. Why is it though that every shred of evidence, and I do mean every shred, from Ken Ham and Ken Hovind and any other younger creationism, we can show to be absolutely wrong? And I mean every single biblical. That's a different story. I'll leave that for general. But scientifically, I can demonstrate every claim they have is wrong. All the evidences from every branch of science we have indicates an older Earth. There's a consilience there. There's not one single branch of science that says, you know what? Here's evidence that looks like the Earth is only thousands of years old. There's none of them. The only evidence they have is they all say, hey, independently, it's about 4.5 billion years. Some say 4.5, some say 4.6, some say 4.35, but it's all in the same general ballpark, right? There's not a single piece of evidence that says, oh, look, according to this, the Earth is only about 7,000, 10,000 years old. Why is that, CJ?
Well, I don't know, but I believe that some of those people, they I don't know. I don't really follow them, a lot of them, to be honest, because their faith in Christianity and all that it wavers from all over the place, man. Kid Hovind is one of the worst, to be honest.
I've engaged with him, right? And Eric.
Yeah. And
CJ, what about an old Earth goes against God's power?
What do you mean?
Who's asking me?
Well, no, he's asking us, CJ.
I'm asking CJ because it seems to me like you think that it's the 7. God created the Earth in 7 literal days, but I don't see how He can't have done that like billions of years ago, coinciding with the
Because the thing is it doesn't match up with the rest of the Bible. I've studied the timelines of the Bible and stuff, and from the timelines that are in the Bible, I don't know them exactly, but it all ties up to the Earth being young, and that's the reason why I fully stand by my point of it being a young Earth.
I don't understand why the God that I think you believe in wouldn't just make it like, look, you don't use the Bible. There's certain parts of the Bible that you don't use in order to gauge scientific concepts, like the age of the Earth.
I think part of this also has to do with that the way they viewed numbers or the way they viewed arithmetics back in that day may have been different than the way we view it now. And so perhaps the age that they used may be different from the way we interpret it now.
I actually believe that that's a possibility, and I'm open to understanding that, and if that becomes
we need to get General Henry.
Definitely.
Well, can you think of anything that would contradict your idea of God, though? Does it seem
I don't believe that God can be contradicted, to be honest. And I know probably nobody in this hangout will agree with me, but
the issue with that is I don't understand why you don't just accept what science says,
because I don't trust
on a different criteria.
I'm sorry, Joe, but I don't trust man.
Yeah,
I
but if
trust God
nothing
over
contradicts
man
your God, you shouldn't be afraid
man lies,
of it.
man covers up, man deceives.
But
man
we're not talking about man's opinion. We're talking about
CJ. I'm talking about
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay.
If
Is Christian breaking up? I don't know if he's breaking up or not.
I don't know if I am or not. If you were to be convinced that it was true, 4.5 billion years old or so, then you would just assume that your interpretation of the Bible was wrong, right?
Yeah, it would take a lot of convincing, but yes, I think I believe. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm an open-minded person.
Okay.
I don't, shut out other ideas.
I just wanted to get that out there, that absolutely 100% it must be a young Earth. You're just saying that's the way you understand it right now.
In other words, CJ, if we gave you overwhelming evidence that the Earth is old, I mean, to the point of just absurdity, and believe me, I can, because we go way back. Although I don't think you looked at that particular. We never really went over that with you. We were talking about other things back in that days, but we never really went over some of the young Earth claims. But it wouldn't shatter your faith, right?
He already kind of answered this. Nothing would be consistent with his God.
Yeah, so he would just say, hey, I was wrong about my interpretation, right, Joe?
See, the main thing that I have an issue with the Earth being old, and me studying the timelines and seeing the times line up to being a young Earth, is the fact that if a Christian was going to follow the old Earth and Earth being millions of years old, it now takes away the power and might that God has by making the Earth in 7 days.
Well, actually, no. I mean, we just had General. We had a Dr. Hugh Ross on and Dr. Fuzz Rana. They're founding members of Reasons to Believe, a very prolific Christian organization on the internet. They fully accept an old Earth. I mean, there's not even a matter of a question to them. It's like they're like, the Earth is old. That's not even a religious claim. That's a outright scientific fact. And then they incorporate the religion and the theological beliefs accordingly.
I mean, CJ, any state of affairs is going to be consistent with the God concept you posited. So I don't see why an omnipotent being wouldn't make an Earth over an extended period of time to meet some sort of theological aim.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I said, if there could be a possibility, and that's true. And I'm open to accepting that, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to really know until I meet God himself.
Well, I could probably, I literally in like 1 minute, I can show you many different ways where running Earth creation is wrong, but this is like the simplest way. I think we've mentioned it before, CJ. My favorite one is simply, we see things that are 13 billion light years away, meaning it took 13 billion years for the light to get to us. Case closed. Young Earth creation is false.
There are some people who think the universe is actually really old, but the Earth is young.
There is a small minority of that, yeah.
I think that's kind of neat.
But before you even hit that point, though, whether or not you accept that the Earth is 4 billion years old or 6 million, it doesn't matter really. What matters is, does that particular view have an influence on how you see the world or what you make of it?
Of course not, and that's what I said. I'm open to a possibility that is true. And that's fine, but that doesn't waver me from my faith at all. I don't care, to be honest, if it's 6 billion years old or 100 million
I'm
years
not-
old or 6,000 years old. I do not care less.
I'm not.
It's not going to
I'm not interested in
So,
wavering you from your belief if it
I,
makes you happy.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you
Yeah,
are. I'm
yeah,
just
that's not
saying.
Joe's thing, and but it's no different than we like truth, right? And so if you were in here, CJ, which you're not a flat earther, thank God, but if you were in here going, hey, you know what, I really believe there's flat, and it falls along the line of my Christian values, blah 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 blah. I don't care what you're thinking about your Christian values. I'm not trying to stop you from being a Christian, of course.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't tell you that the earth is not flat. I can demonstrate to you that the earth is not flat. You know that because you believe very strongly
Yeah.
the earth is not flat. Well, it's the same thing with young creationism. It shouldn't change your Christian viewpoints, but we can demonstrate young creationism is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It doesn't mean God didn't create the earth. It didn't mean God doesn't exist. It just means that the earth is not 7,000 years old. That's all you can extrapolate from that. And it's not.
No,
Like,
absolutely.
And what happens if you don't meet God when you die, CJ? What happens if you don't meet him?
And the Satan's going to be like, hey, CJ, what's up, bud?
But then the Satan won't exist either. Because if I don't meet God, then God doesn't exist. And then if God doesn't exist, Satan doesn't exist. And we're just empty shells that are going to end up dying anyway. So my faith gives me foundation in life and really lets me know that, yes, there is something after I die. We're not just living a one life, So I definitely know I'm going to meet God when I die. I definitely know I'm going to meet God when I die. I'm.
How do you know that? That's your guess. That's your hope.
Because I'm obedient to Him, and I believe in the Bible to a T with all my heart, and that's why I believe that I'm going to meet God when I die.
Yeah, no, it's a
So
strong
the biblical verses about slavery never bother you, CJ?
God, you're loud today, Blue. You got your game turned all the way up.
Nah, the slavery happened in the Old Testament for a reason, and most of those slaves that a lot of people don't realize actually volunteered to be slaves.
No, that is
because they had
exactly
nothing
not
else.
true.
And
That's
then-
not true.
Hang on. There's a whole
Reread
different topic.
Leviticus 25, where it says the Israelites can make slaves of foreigners and keep them as property as long as they wish. That's
lot of the
slavery.
time-
That's wrong.
lot of
You
the
say
time
it's wrong
slaves
or you're a
say-
psychopath.
A lot of the time, slaves were put into slavery because of debts that they had to pay as well. That was the other reason
Yes,
why they were
that only applied to other Jews, not to people who are not Jewish. If you were not part of the tribe of Israel, you could be enslaved forever, and your children would become a property of the Israelites too. That's wrong. Either you say that's wrong.
But at the end of the day, that does not waver me from my faith because it's Old Testament. The New Testament, we're saved under grace now. The Old Testament had its ways.
Where in
God,
the New Testament does it condemn slavery? Excuse me.
I know
Where
God.
in the New Testament does it Where in the
I'm
New
just
Testament
saying-
does it condemn slavery?
It doesn't need to. God has His ways. God
Okay, I'm
is-
done here. I'm done. Sorry, team. This
God
fucker.
has His ways, okay? Far,
Oh,
man.
there's
That
an
fella does
answer.
not want to listen to reason, man.
Blue's a little high.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm actually really, I really like, I don't know much about him, but I really like CJ just because he got Blue to leave a room. So that's props to you for that,
CJ, I
man.
apologize for that. Don't sweat Blue. He's a little high strung.
That's all right. Nah, I don't take offense easily. Trust me.
Can
I'm
I
just
use
a
the
real
slavery?
people.
Can I answer the slavery thing? Steve has a good question about slavery. The Bible, when the Israelites choose a king, God hated it because a king normally enslaved people. So what I'm trying to say is that the Bible actually hates slavery. God hates slavery. Did you read that part of the Bible when the Israelites used Saul, the king, the first king of Israel? God was very angry to the Israelites because they say, "Why are you following those people? Those are not same like you. Why are you looking for a king? The king
the thing
enslaves
is-
people."
Yeah, the thing a lot of people don't realize is God gives us the option to have the freedom to do what we want to do. That's why there's some people that choose to murder, some people that choose to do. He's not going to intervene all the time because at the end of the day, you have to make that right decision first. You have to, and that's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, he condones slavery. Oh, he's an evil God and all this. They have no idea about the Bible. They have no idea about the Bible, man. Seriously, they don't know anything about the ideal or characteristics of God and who he really is. And they're just ignorant. They're just ignorant fools that need to really read the Bible before they have a debate to a Christian who's on fire for the Lord.
But
That's just
say you didn't like science.
let me try and address.
They like science. They may be ignorant of the Bible, but they like science. I think we need to use science for them. Please, if you use religion for science, you will always be rebuked. You will always be criticized. So you, CJ, you need to use science, and because people who are here, people who are here in discussion in the community, they are looking for scientific proof of God or intelligent design.
No, they are not. I have been in this community for a very long time. I have never, except for a handful of uneducated atheists, have anybody asked for scientific proof of God, because that's a non sequitur.
Yeah,
that is a non sequitur statement. Nobody in the right mind ever say, "I want scientific evidence for God," or scientific proof of God. Evidence is fine, but scientific proof of God, it's a non sequitur.
Still, we are looking for the answer of the origins of the universe, right? The origins of the universe, existence, right? Particles. So until now, no one had ever known existence, universe, earth, or mass or energy was made by God or not, right? No one knew that.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Except me. Okay.
Well, here's the thing real quick. Even if the origin of things like cosmogony, right? If we don't know how something is, we don't fill it in by God of the gaps. We don't say, oh, we don't know, ergo intelligence or whatever, because that's not how science is done. Okay, what we do know an awful lot of things. Okay, we may not know exactly how the origin of the universe started, but we have a pretty good concept of how it could have, right? A very good description of how it possibly could have using quantum fluctuations. But we do know certain things. We do know that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old, give or take. That is an absolute scientific, unequivocal fact that no religion, no belief, no experiment is ever going to invalidate. It's just not going to happen. It is a solidified fact. Now, can it be falsified? Yes, like anything else, it can be falsified. It has never been falsified, and there's no evidence to suggest that it will ever be falsified because the evidence is overwhelming. So that's something we do know.
I think the way.
Go ahead, Andres.
If I can, I think, to quote the saying, to kill two birds with one stone. CJ, when you were talking about it's the New Testament that counts, not the Old Testament. At least that's what I heard.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like the means justify the ends kind of game, which if that's what you were saying, that's a very dangerous kind of game.
No, well, I was getting in the heat of the moment.
I didn't
explain myself properly.
Okay, maybe that was just me, but that's
I was trying to go into it, but keep going. Sorry.
No, it's okay. And the second thing, Edgar, is that if the Bible does condone slavery outright, but God permits it to happen, that's a contradiction in and of itself.
No, God did not permit it.
If God does not want slavery to occur, he should not allow it to occur. Simple as that. Even if it requires intervening in human affairs.
He did not allow it. He did not allow it.
It happens in the Old Testament all the time.
No.
You're going to try and deny that it happens?
No, because
really?
the very
bound to be rich.
He did not allow it.
Really?
But if you are going to study the Bible,
the New Testament,
you must study the Bible. No, the Bible God has free will, according to Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. The perfect will, good and acceptable.
So is one of God's perfect wills to allow slavery? Yes or no? This is a very simple question.
Not perfect will. Not a perfect will.
So
the
does
perfect
it follow
will for all of us is to.
You're listing? Yes or no?
So, wait. Can you repeat again?
Does anything under God's nature, in the way that does God's nature, in any of the ways that we can define it currently, allow for slavery? Yes or no? That would make it ever justifiable.
God cannot allow slavery.
Then why does it occur?
But
then why does it occur?
Because human likes it. Human likes it.
I'm sorry.
Humans like slavery.
I'm sorry, Edgar, but to be honest, God actually did allow slavery to happen in the Old Testament. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. He did allow it. He allowed it. He allowed it to happen. He did not like it, but he has a reason for everything he does, and he did allow it to happen, but he doesn't condone it.
Yeah,
but he allowed
when you say allow it,
DJ, I entirely agree with you, and what I'm trying to get Edgar to see is that you can't argue that point. You can't argue that something that has already happened didn't happen before. You can't change history just to conform to your narrative. It's not going to work.
You need to remember that the God of the Bible is the God of love. That is his nature.
No,
Yes,
that's a whole.
And the reason
love would allow for the transfer of slavery.
that is his nature. And
Really?
when you love people, you don't. But
Edgar,
when
Edgar, yes, I understand your point, but I don't know if you're thinking this really quickly out. If slavery has occurred once, that doesn't seem to mean that it's not occurring at all, does it? If this has occurred before,
no, you're
saying that God is the characteristic that doesn't allow slavery. That's incomprehensible. That's a direct contradiction.
Think about it like this, Edgar.
Because when you use the word allow, you maybe in your mind you are trying to use the perfect will, right?
No, I'm stating stating a present tense. I'm stating that it has happened, that it does happen.
When you use the word allow, are you because God has free will, perfect, good, and acceptable. He has free will, a perfect will. For example, I'm a father. I have my perfect will for my son to eat, for example, to eat sushi, but my son would like to eat a chocolate, so that is acceptable. But my son would like to eat drink only water. That's for me. That's good. So God has perfect will. So when you allow it, what do you mean by that?
To use
because God has free will.
To use your example of sushi and chocolate, let's go back to that. So yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sushi is naturally better than chocolate. Let's say that's true, for the sake of argumentation.
Yeah, okay. Sushi is perfect will.
Right. But so what I'm saying now is that if your goal is to have your son, your children, your whatever, to eat sushi.
That's my perfect will as a father.
Right, exactly. And chocolate is, say, forbidden. They're not supposed to eat it.
Okay.
If it does happen that they eat chocolate, and let's say it happens more so than they eat chocolate more so than they do eat sushi, that's an acceptable possibility. But the thing is, the crux of it is this. The crux of it is that if this happens, then it doesn't make sense why you would place something that can interfere with the perfect will of something else. It does not make sense. If you wanted to make things clearer, you would allow for something to only occur in one specific type of way, not for it to be convoluted in any other kind of way. It's very simple in that sense. The fact that it does not occur that way indicates something else about the nature of the divine.
No, because you need to remember that before God allows it, before God uses his free will, he first tells the human being of his perfect will. You must love your people. The Ten Commandments is very clear.
Yes.
God first love, and second love the people, right? So
right, I agree with that. The thing is, though, I have respect for both of these things, right? I'm not saying no, screw humans and I love chocolate. I'm not going to do that. I like both of these things. But one of these things happens to occur more so than the other does. One of these predominates more than the other. If that's not the intention, there seems to be a very odd it seems to be very odd that this would occur. Especially if it's created to be the case that perfect will is being intervened or it's being overturned. That doesn't seem like it should be possible. And if so, it's not perfect.
No. You need to remember that perfect will, when you say perfect will, because for the human existence, we need to have love as perfect will. But
are you saying we
human
don't have
also
love?
Human also can exist without. First of all, perfect will is 100% love. Maybe the acceptable will is maybe 50% love. Maybe the good will is maybe 30% love. So when you make it a slavery, you are making a 30% love, maybe not 100% love, because you cannot slave your loved ones. That's impossible.
Okay, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Yes.
Okay.
The idea of perfect, I view it more as an ideology more than I do as a thing you should actually put in practice. I think that's more reasonable way to put it.
I love practice. I love experiment. Okay.
Right. But to your point, though, is that when something like that occurs, it's like the whole yin and the yang conversation. It's when you have something like that, you have to have something countering it. You have to have a way you have to have a way of resolving it. You can't just eat sushi all the time. You can't just have it so that people will love each other all the time, because that's not the way we function. Humans don't function in a completely loving way. Even if they did for one moment in time, the moment you allow time to continue, that perception will change in some way or another. It doesn't matter. So no matter how you try and push it, even if it were to work perfectly in one way, for one moment in time, the next moment you allow time to exist, it'll change. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but the question is,
possibility.
but the question is, does God allow? Meaning that God's allowed slavery? No, he cannot allow it, because he already told us his perfect will.
Does it occur? Does it occur in this world?
It occurs. It occurs because we are trying to make we are using love as 10% or 20% to other people.
So if it occurs, then that is being permitted. It is being allowed to occur.
But it's
it's
but in
been
God's
allowed to
time,
occur.
it's allowed to
I'm
occur.
sorry,
But
man,
it's
but
not perfect way.
You can't combat something that's already occurring. You can't.
So my question, I've got to quickly come in here. So Edgar, you're saying pretty much what you're saying is God's not in full control. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Well, of course, yes. There are times that God chose to intervene into the world, like in the time of Noah, in the time of Jesus, in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. He personally intervened.
Yes,
but because we have a choose. We have a choice. Human being is a perfect human. You have a choice. You have a choice to love or to hate. You have a choice to live and to kill.
Yeah, of course.
So they have the choice. But the good is that God told us to love each other, and that is only to us. He commanded us to love, because when God commanded us to love each other, we are making this earth heaven again,
but
like
at
a
the
paradise.
But at the same time, God, as you said, so you agree that God's in full control. So he did allow slavery to occur, but he was in full control. He did not condone it, but he allowed it to occur. You can't deny that he allowed it to occur. If he didn't allow it to occur, it wouldn't have happened. So it happened for a reason. And by saying that he didn't allow it to occur, you're now taking the fact away that he fully is in control. You need to understand if he's in full control, he fully controlled the fact that allowed slavery to occur. But remember, slavery was very different to the slavery we thought of in the centuries just gone. Slavery back then was very different. It wasn't on race, it wasn't on anything like that. So
we are also slave today of our company. But
I mean, Romans 6 states that for when you were slaves in sin, you were free in regard to righteousness. So in our sin, we are slaves. So, and God obviously is in full control. So until we accept him as our Lord and Savior, we are slaves to our sin according to the Bible. No offense to anyone here that's not Christian, but that's what the Bible states. So even then, we're slaves to our sin. So there is still slavery going on. And he's allowing that
my
to
point
happen.
actually. Yeah, my point actually in my discussion. My point here in the question, because the question actually has there's what they call there was insight that are not explained in the question. He said God allowed slavery. I think I heard that many times. When the people said that, those people are saying that they are simply thinking that God's perfect will is to have a slavery. You see, that's why we need to be specific, because the Bible is so specific. Science is specific. I always say that. So when we use that's the reason why I always heard that. Like for example, the good and evil, they are not specific. So that's my point. Okay, so maybe in our human dealing, there's slavery. I agree with that. But God,
I just wanted to say something real quick. So you guys were talking about slavery and like, is slavery wrong and all this stuff in God's will. And I think the better argument to be made is that yes, God does permit. God permits everything to happen, right? Like God permits dinosaurs to have cancer diseases. If we look in the fossil record, God permits people to die of AIDS. God permits people, to die horrible deaths all the time. However, I think from a Christian perspective, we should keep in mind that through the random actions of the creation, right, God can even take control out of those things. So God can overcome his overall purpose through the free actions of his creation, through the random actions of his creation. So even though things might seem quite, random and horrible and terrible, with God being omniscient and seeing it from the beginning, I don't honestly see how a Christian can have a problem with that. And also with the slavery thing, yeah, God did allow slavery, but he didn't impose slavery on the people. So the lifestyle and the culture that God was working with back then, they didn't come from God. These people in ancient Near Eastern culture, people enslaved each other all the time. And so God just worked with it. God accommodated with those people. And trying to defend it is actually taken away from the human element of the scripture. I mean, so what? God worked with people who enslaved other people. I mean, God,
when you got to reload, you're coming in a little crackly on the outside. They say they can hear you, but it's not very clear. So you might want to, like,
it's coming in clear for me.
Well, you're on the outside chat.
Yeah,
it's coming in clear for me also.
I'm just reading the outside chat. Yeah, the live feed is saying he's crackling.
No, I fully agree, Wayne. I do. I fully agree. I mean, this slavery thing does not bother me in the least. I know God is in full control. I know he allowed it to happen for certain reasons. And it's just it. We need to get past that. We can't dwell on things that happen that we really, with our pathetic little minds, cannot ever comprehend. We don't know why God allowed it to happen. Truly, the Bible is very limited on exactly why he allowed it to happen, although there are some things that are said in the Bible that explain it. So we can't dwell on what we don't know. We can't fully understand and comprehend God's mind or how he is. It's just, so, and that's just the reality of it.
Well, I agree with you, CJ, but I disagree in the sense that we can try to make ways that a society in which that we would like ourselves to better live in, a world without slavery, a world without.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely am full support that we can do what we can do to try our best, to help out with this. And it only takes one person to start, it definitely, yeah.
But I mean, I think the thing is also is that this concept of slavery, it gets recycled very, very much, and it gets recycled under different doctrines too.
Yeah,
but
it does.
It's the concept, though, that I don't think at all that religion necessarily has an underlying cause for it, but I think it is due to human ignorance in a sense that we don't perfectly understand how to treat others yet, how others should be treated, or what an ideal society would actually look like. Or if we could even envision that,
I mean, I can get a good foundation of a good understanding of what it could potentially be like according to the scriptures, because if everyone was to live as to how God wants to his morals and how we live by that, it potentially could be, but I think I heard a quote saying something in the past, once we overcome our loving of ourselves, I think we can fully know peace or something like that. So there's a lot of love of self, and I think that's one of the major issues in this world today for many years.
But I think it also comes down to is that what are other religions teaching also? Are other religions, even though their doctrines may be different, are we all kind of coming down to the same kind of idea?
Yeah, most of the morals are based off. Well, I believe they're based off God's morals in the Bible, but most of them are, they all have good morals. Different religions have good morals, and I actually like studying them because it's good to get an understanding of where their outlook comes from, And I'm learning to become an apologetic as well, so I need to start understanding different religions and different spiritualities to get to a foundation of, what they're all about, you know. So it's very interesting to understand that, and you know, and even getting an idea of some of the scientific viewpoints and stuff is interesting to me. You know, I'm not just because I'm a Christian and I'm on fire for the Lord. I don't go out and say, "What? Nah, all those scientists are false. All these other religions are false." I go out there and condemn everyone else because I believe in God. You know, I enjoy studying other religions and other cultures and science. You know, it's interesting. It's just different perspectives.
Right. I personally hold the position as an agnostic atheist. So, I mean, I kind of have the viewpoint that, you know, maybe it's not Christianity, maybe it's not Buddhism, maybe it's not Taoism, maybe it's not, you know, what Muslims believe. I kind of think that maybe it's somewhere in the middle, or maybe it's, you know, maybe it's somewhere in the middle between atheism and theism. Maybe it's something we really can't understand until we have that out-of-body experience or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it is really best to postulate, you know, well, if there is a God, yada, yada, yada. I see it more to my position as being atheist as all of these gods seem to have the claim that they are true. Well, in my opinion, if I'm trying to be as honest as possible, I don't want to upset the wrong God that I worship or the wrong God that I praise. I would rather be intellectually honest with myself and say, hey, look, here's the evidence that I have from science, from personal experience, from whatever, what have you, whatnot. And this is the conclusion I've come to within the best of my ability.
Well, for me personally, the reason why I believe in the God of the Bible is because I've had a true spiritual connection with him and I feel him spiritually. And a lot of people can't understand that, but of course they can't because they haven't felt it themselves. Unless you're a Christian who has felt that same sort of spiritual feeling that he's there and he exists. And the way he's changed my life is just amazing. Like straight up, I've given up things I knew I could never give up. He's healed me of things I've never been able to heal on my own.
Well,
and so that's why I fully believe it, you know?
Right. I mean, I was a Christian before I became an atheist.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to go.
Converted me was the Pascal.
All right, later, Edgar. Thank you for dropping by.
That's a
Okay,
different
I have to
conversation.
go. Do you have any more question? No?
Oh no, we really
About
don't.
me?
No, we're good.
No.
We're good.
Good.
Junior's hanging.
We're
Thank you.
really good. Yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you again for
Sure, no problem.
for letting me. Thank you for all your kindness. Thank you again.
You got it, Brett.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome, Edgar. Enjoy your rest of your day today.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I actually respect you, bro, because you're open to you seem like me, but you're on the opposite end of the spectrum. You know, you're very open to different things. You're able to take in what other people say and what they believe in and different things and analyze it and sort of, you know, and still have ground in your own beliefs and what you fall back onto, you know. Like with me, I can listen to anything and everything, all different religions, everyone talking about a whole bunch of different stuff, but my foundation is Christianity and I'll never waver from that. And that's what I was trying to ask Edgar earlier. You know, it seems like he doesn't have a foundation, and that's what I was saying, are you Christian? And he said yes. You know, and who cares, like why? And I was, well, your foundation should be Christianity then. But it doesn't seem like he had any foundation. He was all over the place, jumping here and jumping there and all over. He's like dust in the wind. And I was like, you know, if you don't have a foundation in life, you're going to be lost. You are lost, and that's just it. You know, all these guys in here, I believe, have foundations. Especially Steve. I know Steve quite well. He has his foundation. He sticks to his foundation. He won't waver from that. And it seems like you are like that too, bro. You don't waver from your foundation, but you're willing to listen to other perspectives and alternative beliefs and all that. So I respect that, you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much. That's part of the thing I try and hold myself to, is that even if, like, I've had arguments with friends before about, you know, different philosophical and even like religious kind of conversations. And I've ultimately come down to is like, look, like me and another person may come to a difference about a thing. My opinion, though, my opinion in the end, it only matters to me. I'm the only person who can change my own mind.
You know, it's kind of funny though.
God gives us that freedom to do so. God gives us that freedom to do so. Yeah.
On the other side there, it's kind of funny because you know, there's a handful of people, not very many anymore, but a handful that don't even listen to my Hangouts, right? They don't know anything about my channel except for the fact they know I have a channel and I get a lot of people that come on. But they always like, oh, well, you know, Steve's having a hangout and look at all those atheists having a circle jerk in there and bashing on Christians. And when I get a bunch of Christians in here, not one of them has ever said I bashed on them. Not any one of them ever said that they've even seen that happening. In fact, I have had, I mean, there was more Christians in here just a little while ago than there was anything else.
Well, let's do a head count right now, Steve. How many atheists are in the room?
You.
And that's it.
I don't know what
I
I
identify as an agnostic atheist. So if you want to count that, you can consider it, I guess, 1.5 or 2.
Yeah,
1.5.
but I mean, it's like they never actually have ever seen any evidence of anybody being bashed on here because of their faith, because that's not what the channel's about. They've seen people attacked because of their scientific idiocy, and that's what Fiona's making the argument about. That she will go after these guys for their being stupid, but they made the argument. They claimed that Fiona was attacking their Christianity, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. I saw, as I said, that's why I brought about the foundation. I saw that Fiona wasn't attacking him because he was a Christian. She was attacking him for the same thing I saw, the fact that he lacked his foundation, and that's it. At the end of the day, she might not have mentioned it, but I'm sure that's what she saw too. He had no fundamental foundation of where he sat and where his morals were set. And so therefore he was, as I said, like dust in the wind. So he was going all over the show. You didn't know where he was, what he believed in, what he did. And then and it's unfortunate, you know. It's like, well, I believe if you're going to claim to be a Christian, you better be a Christian, because I'll pull you up. I will call you out and rebuke you for being a false Christian. I will. I'm not afraid to do it, man. You know, I will do it with love, but I'll be blunt about it as well, you know.
I mean,
So
we
many
can do
Christians
that if
claim
you
to
want
be
to.
Christian,
I'd rather not do that. I mean, if you want to, we can. But
no, I won't do that. I'll you know, it's normally in my personal walk outside of Google Hangouts.
Yeah,
I won't do it on Google Hangouts so much, because I just know that it's just, yeah, it's not the same as actually talking to someone in real life, you know. Facebook, I get it enough, you know. So yeah.
I mean,
I keep the peace.
And I could tell, and agree if you want to, but I could tell within like the first time I heard Edgar, at least in this hangout, that his argument was going to fall apart before it even began to make sense, and I could see it coming. And the moment he tried to jump in, like with all like, what was it? The whole slavery doesn't exist, or slavery was, you know, not occurring in the Bible.
Yeah, I don't know why they fought against that so much. Yeah.
And I thought he was going to attack that in the same way that he did, that he was going to try and do that to justify his own way of thinking.
Listen, they should say, look, yes, we realize that slavery existed. We don't know if God actually did command it or not. Maybe God had a reason. I don't know. But it's part of our history. People did have slaves. No different than, you know, in the 1800s, it was Blythe against America for having slaves. You know, accept it and move on. But for when somebody denies something, to say, oh, they were volunteers. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you really fucking kidding me?
Right, and that's why I pushed on him for it. It was just like, are you fucking serious, dude? Like, that's. I mean, like, I can accept, like, you know, you want to dodge it a little bit, you know, say like, oh, there might have been a reason for it, but to outright just like, you know, like, oh, it never happened. That's what gets me.
That's absurd, especially with the fact that, you know, if you do this and this and this, and after 7 years, you know, give them a wife and kids, and they can stay with you by driving an awl through their ear, and they volunteered for that. But come on, I mean, there's something called volunteering, and there's something called coercion, right? And you know, you're not going to give up your wife and kids. So did you really have a choice? You know, you were coerced into staying. Well, that's not really a free will choice in that particular thing.
Right, and that's why there's certain things you would do. You know, like, I may not have an alcoholic beverage like on my own, but if I'm with friends who may, you know, it's a special occasion, a birthday or something, who knows, maybe I will have one, you know.
Did Antonio's hangout get sniped, by the way? I'm sorry.
Like, there's situations in which, like, I can make permissions for myself or permissions for things to happen that normally wouldn't happen.
Right.
You know.
Agreed. I don't know if it was sniped, but I'm in the process of downloading.
Okay. Yeah, I think they just went off air.
They did, but for some reason I'm only getting 2 hours of it.
Well, yeah, because it hasn't rendered yet.
Yeah.
You have to wait till it's fully rendered before you can download the whole thing.
Yeah, well, luckily I recorded the first half of it, so.
Cool.
All works out.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go back and watch it. It doesn't seem like anything. I don't know.
Oh God, no.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with it. Are you familiar with Pascal's wager?
Who?
CJ. Sorry, I'm not
What's
sure if I
that?
specified that.
What was that? Sorry.
CJ, do you know what Pascal's wager is?
No, I don't believe I do. I may have heard of it before, but I don't think I know what it is. No. Or he is.
It's the exercise that goes kind of like, and I think I'm not sure if it was you or if it was Edward that was mentioning it before, but it's the result that if you were to draw kind of like a checkerboard and say, well, what's possible? Like, what if Christianity is right? Well, okay, infinite gain, like minimal loss. What if atheists or non-believers are incorrect? Well, infinite punishment, maximal, infinite, like, maximum hurt,
It's reward to risk ratio.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the issues that it fails to address is that when Pascal made the original wager, it only applied to Christianity, and it failed to see that that the idea that other religions could be wrong, that in a sense that there is only one true way, which I'm not sure I completely agree with, but I think that,
Well, probabilistically speaking, Pascal's wager is flawed. That has actually been demonstrated and proven.
Right.
Now, now you can still use it as a psychological ploy, but mathematically, it's not a sound argument.
There actually is a revised version of Pascal's wager. I'll see if I can find the paper about it, but it does get around that issue that you're raising, Steve.
That tries to alleviate that problem. There might be a better version of
alleviate that problem, but it in turn raises another problem that it proves.
Was because I don't think any of them solves the problem.
I mean, that's kind of one of the issues you get with certain types of arguments like that, is that although you address one issue, you may end up they may not be truly the issue of the question you're asking.
Right. And that's the reason why you can't accept all axioms.
Yeah.
You've got to pick and choose what you want for your framework, because when you start changing things or coming up with things here, it's going to make a problem somewhere else, because there's no one perfect framework. There just isn't. Gödel's law of incompleteness, Gödel's incompleteness theorem demonstrates that, along a couple of other things that say, there is no one perfect framework for everything.
Right. I think sometimes you have to use, in a way, you kind of have to take and choose specific parts of different ideologies and theologies to reach that. You kind of have to say, okay, well, you take a little bit of this, but I gain a little bit of that.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of what the Sokka's whole framework of epistemological framework is, or for knowledge. He has he's God damn it, not a concordance, but help me out here, Doctor. Sokka's what is his framework for theory of truth, or theory of knowledge? Sorry, he's not a concordance, correspondence. God damn it. So so he's a correspondence theorist, and I think that's what he does. He picks and chooses things that work within his framework that is consistent, and then takes out the things that aren't, without using any kind of presuppositions or foundationalism.
Right. Yeah.
Which might work. I mean, people seem to like that particular type of method. I'm a foundationist because I just find it simpler, and I don't want to read that much into it. So,
and I think that certain things, like certain base values, are good because they are good. It's the whole Euthyphro argument.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to think that there are some things like that that are intrinsic in their nature. But in the same sense, though, there's some things that you do have to justify as to why they are intrinsic, or why they are, bad or good, or however you choose to designate.
Yeah, there are types of justification, though. I mean, if I just have proper basic beliefs, I can't justify them using, a rational thing. I've got to justify them non-didastically. I've got to go by non-inferential in order to justify them, which is fine. But I don't care. To me, it's just like I accept my things axiomatically. Good to go. If you want to just try to destroy my axiom that the universe exists, be my guest. But you know what? I think you have an impossible task, or nearly impossible task, to show me that the universe doesn't exist.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't try to do that.
Yeah, that's why I just accept it as an axiom, though. I mean, I don't have to really justify it more than that, except for my only simple justification for having that axiom is that I can't do anything else until I accept the universe exists. I can't even formulate anything else, an opinion or a belief on anything else, because I have to start somewhere.
Right, but I think that also it plays into a subjective tense as well, that it exists to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't see the universe the same way you see the universe. It's impossible for me to do that.
Well, yeah, because we have an epistemic limit.
So the way that we come to conclusions about it may be different in that sense.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I can't get into somebody's head and vice versa. Okay. Anyways, guys, Hot Tie is going to be hosting a hangout soon. I think they want to kind of go over the debacle. Fiona going over there and asking them again for evidence to support their position that she has been bashing Christians. They provided her no evidence whatsoever, literally none. Their only evidence was supposedly what other people have said. You've done this and this and this. They don't understand the concept of what evidence means. It's just completely retarded.
I think it's what you raised up before, or somebody else raised before, the concept of the whole persecution porn crap.
It is persecution porn to this finest. As a matter of fact, it's funny you bring that up, Andres, because as soon as Fiona left, she's like, look, you guys don't have evidence. You guys, I'm done. As soon as she left, Carlos went right back into his persecution porn mode. It was ridiculous.
Well, did you see what G said?
What?
He's starting to get to the point where he's becoming very overconfident, and he's like, if any of you want me to join your hangout, you're gonna have to pay me $100.
G-Man said that?
Yeah.
I think but again, G-Man's a showman. He knows that that's fucking
I know that. It's obvious.
Yeah.
But the same sense, though, G-Man can't win an argument to save his life.
Yeah.
Like, he's improved, I'll give him that much, but he can't. I don't think he has I think he's short-sighted in a sense to be able to win an argument truly.
Which, by the way, yes, I noticed people in the live feed. Yes, revolutions and revelations. By the way, you still have a spanner. By the way, I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I've limited my spanners just a handful of people. So if you've got a spanner, you're good to go. Mod control in the live feed.
Oh, I thought so.
I eliminated literally about 75% of my
Hey, Steve. Remember when I didn't know about the mod controls and we had all those anime things popping, that troll hangout we had way back?
Oh god, that was great.
Like, oh, bro.
We got to hang out, you guys. We were so bored one night, and this was before I actually really had my channel. But we were so bored. We were like, "Hey, CJ, we're like, let's just have a hangout where all we do is invite trolls." And we had the best fucking anime trolls come in, and it was a freaking riot. These guys were like professional trolls from like 4chan, and it was funny.
They were rapping, they were doing all this other stuff, and that was crack of bears. The problem is I didn't know what modding was, and I left for a long period of time, and Steve kept talking and saying, oh, he must have dropped out or something, he can't hear us, and anyway, I came back and he finally realized and let me know that I've got to give controls to someone else if I leave for a short period, and I had no idea. So these fellas were going AWOL in my hangout. It was crack up.
That wasn't
good times.
Anyways, I'm going to be ending this. Trevor says, remind people of my Patreon, the upcoming events too. Of course I will. I always do. Well, not always, but whatever. For people that are wondering if they wanted to become Patreons, there it is in the live feed. I do appreciate even $1 a month. Everything is appreciated. It all adds up. And I will tell you guys, my ad revenue went to shit this month. I don't know if it was just me. I don't think it was. I think YouTube is having so many problems, and that the ads are not becoming monetized as much. And I actually wrote to them, and they gave me a form letter back that was just stupid. It had nothing to do with what I was asking them. And my AdSense revenue literally has gone down 90%. If it was $1 before, now it's 10 cents. If it was a $1.80 before, it was like 25 cents. It's literally gone down dramatically. Now, it's not a huge amount monthly. I mean, I was only making like $30 a month on the AdSense, but now I'm making about $3. So I don't know. I think it's again, it's not me. It clicks too, because it's funny, because I look at the metrics and be like, okay, this many views, this many views, this many views, this many clicks, impressions, whatever. And all of a sudden one day that went to 3, and then it went to 2, and then it went to 0. And since then, for several weeks, what used to be in the double and triple digits is now in the 0, 1s, and 2s. And I know that's not you guys or me. It is the fucking sense that YouTube is withdrawing a lot of their advertisement because but people are withdrawing their advertisement from YouTube because of political things and the fact that these might be controversial topics. So if you have anything that's controversial, they're going to be watching it and flagging it and saying it's not revenueable or whatever the word is to have revenue, not advertiser friendly. But anyways, I do have an upcoming event on Saturday. We've kind of planned for this computer scientist. His name is Noel. What was his first name? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Landon Kurt Noel. He's a very, very prominent computer scientist with a background in astronomy. You can go read him on the webpage, the Wikipedia page. And this debate is now Sunday at 3 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock my time. And I've actually, since I have more than a week, I actually been beefing up my presentation because I wrote my rebuttal ahead of time because I already know what he's going to argue. So. And yes, Lamed is a Patreon. By the way, Lamed, got me some very nice equipment and some other stuff. It's just thrill. It's been a huge difference. You believe me, compared to what it was my situation before. At least I have a decent system here. I can actually make videos and I can actually do multiple tasking and it saved me a hell of a lot of time because now I'm studying for this debate and working in presentation. I don't think I could have done that on my other system. It was just too fucking slow. So, yeah, thank you, Lamed, for all your support to my channel and everybody else. And whether you're a Patreon or not, I just appreciate the fact people listen and they do like these events. I hope this event on Sunday is entertaining, and I'm glad that Ronnie is going to be at least in a position where he has to ask us some questions about his claims, right? And he can ask me where the hell he wants. I don't care. But he's never been in a situation where he literally has to answer questions from me that he's avoided for a very long time. The Ilibet says, let me know if you have anything else. The only thing I think of is a little, maybe 5'10" blonde, 28, 29 years of age, college educated, 38 deep, maybe chest. I mean, if you could arrange something like that, hey, let me know.
So basically, you want us to make a GoFundMe for you so that you can go on a date with Madison Ivy?
Oh, Madison Ivy would be good.
She actually has a PhD. I read an article.
Madison Ivy does?
Yeah, or like she was working on a PhD or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of smart chicks out there, so whatever. No, I mean, I'm not. Oh,
but I have to say though, Steve, just so everyone knows, I have mods.
Oh yes, you forgot to mention that multiple times though.
Yeah. I have mods, so anything that happens, I get to decide what happens because I have mods.
And it's his hangout now.
Yep, yeah, my hangout.
Mods. Yeah. And Sarah wants to see me and Ronnie have a naked oil wrestling competition. Well, doubt that's going to happen. Yeah.
I would not like to see Ronnie.
I say this with much love and respect. I'd probably rather have a naked oil wrestling with a doctor than Ronnie. So don't get too excited, doctor.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Steve, but I have these things called standards.
I know. And your boyfriend's much better looking than I am, I'm sure. Let's see here. What else is going on? Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't know, I did meet Jackie and Kevin yesterday. Did you guys know that? Very cool people. We had a great time. Very nice people. It was so awesome to have them drop by, and we went out to have a little lunch, and then so I'm really thrilled to meet people in the community. So if anybody gets to California, I will definitely meet up with you if you come to Southern. Anything else? So I'm gonna leave you guys with the last word. You guys want to say anything? Oh, sorry.
I mainly just wanted to say I'm glad I caught up again. It's been some time, and I just happened to, because I still get emails with you because I follow you on YouTube, so I get emails in my Gmail when you have a hangout on YouTube. So that's why I thought I'd message you and potentially comment and see if you saw me. So, it was good. It's been a while, as I said. I've just been doing my faith, getting stronger in my faith. I mean, I said to the Lord, I'll go all out for you if you're real, and and so that's it. You might as well. If you follow something, you got to follow it with a passion, or don't bother following it at all. So, but it's good, man. Steve, it's been ages, as I said.
Yes, it has, my friend. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll probably pop in every now
Because
and
you know,
then
I'm
as
just
well,
I'm just
you know?
that evil atheist who's not atheist that bashes on Christians that don't bash us on Christians.
Yeah, man. How many times you bash me now, man?
No
It's
kidding.
not on, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
surprised.
no,
I'm
it's bad.
surprised you're not on their team, Steve. After
No,
all, you're a
CJ actually
practicing
had one.
Orthodox Jew, aren't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, do you know CJ? Do you remember that? I got somebody said I claim to be a practicing Orthodox Jew. Now you've probably known me longer than anybody in the community. You were there from like day one. Have I ever said I was a practicing Orthodox Jew that you remember?
No.
Okay, I don't get it.
Where did
Like
they
what?
come up with that, man?
Oh,
Like,
Steve said it in a hangout. No, I didn't. I guaranteed. Wow. Yeah, I
There
get accused of a lot of
was a
shit.
time in Hangout where you did. It was in MK's room. It was 2 years ago, where you just kind of like dropped it. You're like, I'm actually of Jewish descent.
Well, that's true.
And I think the person in question just took that and created a false narrative in their brain and just expressed it.
Yeah, like that never happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are though, aren't you?
Oh well, my mom's Jewish.
No, but you are what they claim you are. You are though at the end of the day.
You know what? Well, actually, worse than that.
Yeah, he's one of those Nazi Orthodox Jews.
I've been accused of having like thousands of sock accounts, and that everybody who goes to my hangouts are socks. Everybody that's in my live feed are socks.
Oh yeah. See, I'm actually a sock too. And so
Yeah,
is
dude.
Dark.
So it's my voice too. See?
Yeah.
So it's just you at the end of the day. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of yous in this one hangout.
Yeah, and yours is my hardest. Pretending I'm CJ is really difficult because I have a shitty time doing an Australian accent.
Oh, he went to the Australian accent.
Oh, sorry, Kiwi. I'm sorry.
It's Australian if you're talking about
What the fuck's the
continent.
difference?
There is a big
Well,
difference.
one's also called a fruit.
Yeah, well, I know this. I understand they're not. I understand geographic.
Well, the thing is Aussies tend to have a twang, but New Zealanders tend to be lazy in our accent. We sort of, you listen to a New Zealander speak. I mean, you probably hear it from me, but we just speak real lazy. Like we're just casual about how we speak. There's no, it's just like, I'm just casual. Don't really care.
Yeah.
Aussies are like, they sometimes emphasize things a bit too much. I'm just gonna have some fish and chips, mate. Yeah, go the rugby.
And say cunt a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I guess so.
You can't say it. I know you can't. I don't know what you're all just saying. I'm offended. Anyways,
They do speak differently, but they all look the same.
We got to get this going. So, anyways, Hogtie's having a hangout, guys. I don't know when he started. I don't know if he started yet, but it gives me time to go do other things.
Yeah.
Season ended today for PvP and WoW. Legion 7.2 did come out, Doctor. So
I know I installed it, and the server lag was so bad that I couldn't
waited.
actually go on the Broken Isles.
Yeah, I waited because I know that the lag was going to be ridiculous. And
I haven't played that game in ages. I used to play it hard out, but I just haven't had the money to top up, to be honest.
No, that's the beauty of it. I don't pay a dime for it.
Yeah, my brother's
you
the
pay
same.
in game now.
I play a game with gold. Yeah, and I easily do about 90,000 to 100,000 gold.
I can't even make enough gold to do it, man. Like straight
I
up,
do.
I can't.
An hour of just casual gameplay will easily get you 4,000 gold.
Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if you just do world quest, dude. This is how I can make my gold. Besides the fact I do enchanting and other things, and I sell things on the H. But just by doing world quest with a bodyguard that has these little things that you add to them, you can get like a 50 gold and then 25 gold or whatever.
They're just item upgrades.
Yeah, item upgrades. So if you complete a world quest, you get an extra like 100 gold. So if you have a world quest that's like 600 gold, you get an extra 100. All you do is do world quest. You can make thousands of gold in a day, right? And you only got to make 3,000 gold a day to be able to pay for WoW token because they're at 90,000 right now. They were at 20,000. So talk about inflation.
Last time I looked, they were 36,000. That's ridiculous,
dude. They're 90,000 now. It was started at
90,000
on my server. They're sitting at 45,000.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Why is that not 40? My server, they're 90,000.
Because my server is dying and the inflation rate isn't climbing as high as yours.
Yeah, my inflation rate is ridiculous. But again, it's still only 3,000 a month, gold a month, and I had 400,000. So, I mean, I could play for 4 months and not even farm a dime, right? So it's me, it's completely free. So it's great.
What kind of characters and
101,000 on Moonguard, by the way.
What kind of what's your main characters and what's your faction?
Frost Mage, and I also have a 110 DK blood spec, and I also working on a warrior. But I played every single spec of every kind you can imagine, except for Shami. I don't know how to play Shami. A DH because they're new, And what else?
Do you know how you play the DH?
About it.
You hit your face against the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, DHs are freaking retardedly overpowered right now to the point where I swear to God, Blizz needs to do something. I know they're a new class, right? And I understand they want to be powerful. Like DKs got out, right? Do you remember the first day DKs came out in the 60 brackets, right? All you saw was people flying through the fucking air.
Yeah.
The death grip. People wanted powerful shit, right? But I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. DHs are woefully overpowered, just like Boomkins right now.
Yeah, I
being a mage trying to kill a DH. It ain't easy.
I started when Lich King come out. That's when I started getting on. I got my brother invited me to join, and so he got his mount and all that. So but I just haven't had it. I mean, for now, I think I'd have to put I'd have to top up with real money for me to get back on it again, because I just don't have any gold in there. But I might look at doing that again at some point. I'll just
like I said, if you just do 3,000 gold a day, you're golden. But I haven't been on today at all because I knew that I was going to be really a bitch to get on with 7.2 just coming out, and I didn't want to deal with it. So whatever.
Well, my brother, who I live with, he's got a shaman and he's maxed out. He does Mythic Plus dungeons a lot and raids and all that. So he's with quite a well-known guild. So
my mage maxes at about a plus 12 Mythic. She needs a little bit better gear for hire, but that's not bad. I mean, she could do 9 easily, like 9 10s. No problem.
I've got a 110 rogue that I've been playing a troll rogue, so that's what I use.
Fucking rogues. Combat. What spec? Well, they call it.
Combat's gone.
Yeah, I know. It's not combat anymore. What do they call it?
I think I'm assassination.
Assassination. Yeah, I hate those poisons. They're so annoying.
Remember the good old days when rogues weren't allowed to use poisons in raids?
No, I thought they always had poisons.
They always had poisons, but they weren't allowed to use them in the raid.
Wow, that's
really. I never raided as a rogue. I just PvP'd as a rogue.
Well, the bosses had like a limited number of debuff slots, so if a rogue put poison on something, it would knock off another debuff.
Oh, and there's a lot better debuffs than the poison, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get this going. I love you guys. CJ, it's been so awesome catching up again. Please stop by more often.
We'll do.
Doctor, love you, brother. Thank you for all your help as well. By the way, let me know later on about what we talked about if you got any more info on that.
Yeah, I've not heard anything. I'll just say it right now.
Are you going to watch the thing I got on Saturday with that computer scientist? That's going to be interesting.
Yes, and if possible, later, maybe off air or something, because I don't want to make myself look like a complete jackass.
No! This guy seems really cool, dude. I'm serious. Like, let's get some cool people in there to ask him some cool questions.
I know, but I'm probably going to ask him stupid questions. That's why. Like, I just looked him up, and this guy is
smart, right?
Really intimidating.
Yeah, no shit, right?
He's what Ronnie wishes he was, basically.
Yeah. This guy is no joke. He's one of the leading computer scientists in the world. He is one of the foremost mathematicians on prime numbers in the world, and he's also an astronomer. He is no joke. Okay, so yeah, he's a smart fucking guy. and
he's good looking on top of that.
And he's what?
And he's good looking on top of that.
Yeah, he's a decent guy, isn't he? Yeah, he's a decent guy. But yeah, he's been real nice. He contacted me because somebody in our community had recommended me to him. Thank you, Red Eye. And he's just been having a nice dialogue with them, and we just kind of arranged on Saturday. And he's like, yeah, this would be kind of cool. Let's do it, man. Real chill. So
I'm waiting for the day that you get Professor Hawking on here.
Oh, well, it's funny. I've reached out to people like Ken Miller. I told you I got a message from Jerry Coyne, right?
Yep.
But he couldn't do it. I think I know why, but not to get into the details. But I think there's some academic reasons. But at least he responded, right? So I mean, I have reached out to a lot of people, but it doesn't even have to be like biology. Like this guy, obviously, is not even biology or anything, but it's astronomy, which is cool. So I'm reaching out to all kinds of other different people now. I mean, just anybody I think would be a good guest, right? My next guest is going to be Sarah Rodriguez too. Yeah, right, Sarah. Sarah needs to get her happy ass in here.
She's not been in a hangout, has she?
No. She needs to get her happy ass in here.
You sure it's actually a female?
Well, she said she's a lesbian with a wife. That's what she says.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
They're all females to me, baby.
just because they all pretend to be.
Yeah.
Some people just.
It's like on WoW. You know, it doesn't matter what your name is. You're I mean, we were doing PvP, and there's this monk, and her name was Cute Girl, and we're like, okay, everybody, let's get on Cute Girl, jump on Cute Girl, and we're like, wait a minute, that's not a girl. You just know it's not,
because that doesn't sound like a pedophile.
Jump on Cute Girl. What server am I on? I am on Silver Moon. All my tunes are on Silver Moon, with some minor exceptions. I have like a 29 level warrior and like Emerald Dream and Hakar, and I don't know, but for the most part I'm pretty 99% on Silver Moon.
Oh, you might want to jump in the hangout. Sounds like Hogtie starting.
Okay, Silver Moon Alliance. Yes, Lamed. Yes, Silver Moon Alliance. My character's name is Lilo, Llylo. If you go look her up, she's one badass mage. She has more RPGs for a mage on my entire server. She's pretty well known on my server. Yeah, you can stalk me. Yeah, should. That's my mage's name, Lilo. My I don't remember my whole thing, but my what is it called, ID, but I do remember it's Runic Force, but I don't remember the hashtag is. But anyways, guys, let's go watch Hogtie's thing after I go make a little dinner. I love you guys. Oh wait, Hogtie just said I'm not sure of going on air. Oh well, yeah, he'll go on air. Hogtie, come on. Eventually, he has to have the attention. So.
He'll go on air midway through somebody saying something embarrassing.
Exactly. Be like, I was jerking off one day. Oh shit, So yeah, that's the way it is. All right, guys, thank you very much. Peace out, and we'll see you on the other side.